What's up, guys? It's your boy Ty, and today we got we got the man, the goat, a legend, a goat in rap music, one of the most iconic rappers of all time, one of the most a big controversial rapper as of like the last couple years. Not just even about rap, just a controversial person in general. We got Kanye West, or formerly known Kanye West. Name is Ye now. So we got Kanye West interview with Piers Morgan, and I'm pretty sure this is gonna be about they're gonna talk about the whole shit that's been going on with Kanye. I don't really know too much about it. All I know is that he has said some anti-Semitic, what they're categorizing as anti-Semitic comments, and I heard it has to do with something about Jewish people, and like they're gonna be talking about his whole White Lives Matter shirt. We about to dive into this and we about to react to it. And yeah, so let's get into this right now.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed for joining Piers Morgan Uncensored. My first question for you, I guess, is an obvious one. What do you hope to achieve from our conversation?
That right there, being uncensored. In American media, it's very censored. It feels like an episode of Black Mirror a lot of times. So I've put myself across the line, the point of no return, saying, hey, I know they're going to say whatever they want about me. When I bring up the truth, they're going to say, you didn't get enough sleep. It's because of your health. They're going to call me names for my truth. But these experiences that I'm telling you about are factually things that I've went through and things that I refuse to keep going through and things that I'm not going to let my children go through and things that I'm not going to let my peers go through. No pun intended.
Well, look, we are most certainly uncensored on this show, and I want to give you the time and the platform to really explain yourself, because I think that sometimes sound bites about people, perhaps taken out of context sometimes, can create a very distorted view of what a person really thinks. What do you think, looking back over the last few weeks in particular, what do you think have been the biggest misconceptions about you?
Well, I think there's a left agenda to silence anyone that goes against the agenda. Let's go back to Trump running for office back in 2015. Everyone that was around me in my industry, in the entertainment industry, told me that my life would be over. I would be on the wrong side of history. I've even had threats to my life for wearing the Trump hat. And
Bro, who cares? Y'all need to leave that shit alone. Who cares? So what? Kanye West voted for Trump. Who cares? If he wants to vote for Trump, he could vote for Trump. There's nothing wrong with that. He's not less of a person because he voted for Trump. Like what? That's like that doesn't even make any sense to me.
it even ended up in, destroying my family and also making it where I have to raise my children differently because I actually am a person that's classified as black. I classify myself as Jew, but
Whoa, what? What? Kanye what? Kanye West is Jewish? Nah, Kanye West classifies himself as Jewish. That's news to me. I did not know that. I don't even believe that.
a person that's classified that had been given that title in America as black in America, that I'm supposed to stay in a block of a vote. You never heard the term white vote. So why is there a term black vote? How is that okay? It sounds just as racist as a black drinking fountain. And I'm
I actually agree with him on that. We've never. There's not even a term white vote. So why is there a black vote? And Yeah, I agree with him when he said it sounds racist. Like the fact that there's a black vote, like the Joe Biden and Trump were trying to win the black vote. Like when they talk about a president trying to win the black vote, like that shit sounds racist to me. Why is there a black vote? Like what? That sounds racist.
My dad, this as a black drinking fountain, and my dad, called me. He said, the thing that the left fear about Ye or makes me the most dangerous is I'm rich, and that's the point. Tupac told me back in the days, you had to get your money right, and then you go to war. So I'm going to war. I don't have endless resources. I only have like maybe, honestly, only maybe $120 million in my account. But what I'm not going to let happen is I'm not going to let my kids take.
That's crazy. Being that Ye was literally a billionaire like a year ago, and he's saying he only has 120 million in his account. But he literally said that as if that's like nothing in his account, as if that's like changed to him. Like what, bro? You got 120 million in your account. Like, oh my god.
But what I'm not going to let happen is I'm not going to let my kids take over Yeezy someday and have a boardroom telling them what to do and talking behind their back. I'm not going to let that happen to my children. So I have to fight right now. And the other powerful icons in black music, when they were at the top of the game, they didn't fight at that point. They were too afraid of losing whatever they had. So by the time they wanted to make a difference, by the time Bill Cosby wanted to buy NBC, he didn't have the Cosby Show at that time to be able to stand up when they wanted to literally throw him in jail, where they actually did throw him in jail. So people have to understand just the bravery. There's so many people everywhere. I know everyone can relate to being afraid to say what you're going to feel because you feel like you're going to lose something. So whether you agree with me or not, I believe people are going to feel the fact that someone is brave enough to say something. Every day I do 5 things that people have been historically killed for. Every day. And it's just, I want to prove, first of all, I am Jew also. The 12 lost tribes of Hebrew. Do the math. Do your research on it. We have got our culture ripped from us and then told we were just simply void of color, which is another definition for black. But if we knew we were a culture and knew we were a people, the way the Jewish people know, then we wouldn't abort ourselves. We wouldn't shoot each other dead in the streets and then rap about it. We wouldn't brag about, having sex with each other's wives. We would keep our families together and we would do business together. The most dangerous place for a black person in America is actually in our mother's stomachs, because 50% of black deaths a year in America is abortion currently. I mean, I can keep going, but I want to make it, hey.
I want somebody to fact check that in like actually I might fact check that myself because I don't know if I believe that. But he did say currently though. Like currently 50% of black deaths is abortion. I don't know if I believe that. And I wouldn't even agree with that. I would say it's murder. It's murder. Like what? Black like abortion? No, I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I don't believe
Ask
that.
me questions. Let's go.
I don't want to jump in too much.
Is abortion currently? I mean, I can keep going, but I want to make it, hey, boom. Ask me questions. Let's go.
I don't want to jump in too much because here's what I honestly think. I think you have an extraordinary mind. You have a number of extraordinary talents. You're a musical genius. You're a fascinating public figure. What has been interesting to me is to watch the furore which has erupted in the last few weeks over a series of statements that you've made, which have caused, as you know, a lot of offence. And I guess before I get into them, I'm just curious as to whether you think there is a line for free speech. I completely agree with you. that there is a war against free speech, that people are, treading on eggshells all the time, terrified of expressing honestly held opinions in case they get cancelled. I think we're living in a really insidious era where liberals are behaving like fascists. So on that, you have absolutely my agreement. But my question for you is, do you believe there are limits to free speech? And if they are, what are they?
There are no limits to free speech. It's all context, right? Tarantino can write a movie about slavery where actually him and Jamie, they got the idea from me, because the idea for Django, I pitched to Jamie Foxx and Quentin Tarantino as the video for Gold Digger. And then Tarantino turned it into a film. But in that...
Wow, that's interesting. The idea for Django, that's interesting what he just said about Django and his him wanting that for his video for Gold Digger. That's interesting. But yeah, that does seem like something Quentin Tarantino would do. He would turn it into a movie. Yeah.
The idea for Django, I pitched to Jamie Foxx and Quentin Tarantino as the video for Gold Digger. And then Tarantino turned it into a film. But in that film, he puts a context. He creates a context where Leonardo DiCaprio is allowed to use the word multiple times within that context. So Hollywood's job is to frame things, and they allow what context, what content is accepted and what's not. We have our thoughts. Everyone has thoughts and ideas, and then people try to manipulate.
What? Quentin Tarantino allowed Leonardo DiCaprio to say nigga? And what? Quentin Tarantino? Quentin Tarantino's white as fuck. For him to allow that sounds crazy. Nah, that's wow.
Everyone has thoughts and ideas, and then people try to manipulate your thoughts and ideas. In order for humanity to move forward, we have to be free to think and then to actualize. I like the word actualize better than execute. If you think about execute's a negative word, actualize would be more positive, except for the fact that it has the word act in it, and everyone's an actor, especially in Hollywood. I'm like top 5 writers in human history, so I really get into...
I don't know about that. Human existence. First of all, he said human history. Then he said human existence. I don't know about that. I'm not too educated on writers, and even if I was, for him to say top 5, and for him to say of of human existence, that sounds wild. Maybe top 50, but top 5, that's kind of pushing it. And there's a lot of writers. That's kind of, I don't know.
5 writers in human history, so I really get into the power of words, and I feel very akin to Capote, Freud, Nikola Tesla, Da Vinci, Matisse, more Matisse than Picasso, more African Cubism than Matisse. So I just do that. I throw out that kind of for the liberals, and that's the funny thing. It's like liberals.
Let me hold you up on that.
Me.
On Matisse, when you say you're more Matisse than Picasso, as somebody who's a fan of Matisse and Picasso, actually, I spent a lot of time in Saint-Tropez where they all used to paint together. Why do you say Matisse? What is it about Matisse that you feel an affinity with?
I feel like Drake is more Picasso and Ye is more Matisse. When we talked about, when me and Drake went to do the show last year for prison reform and to bring awareness to the incarceration of Larry Hoover, I sent him articles about the relationship of Matisse and Picasso and the need for these people. You need to have that. I need to go into the bar and go to Starbucks. That's a form of a modern day bar, right? And just hear Drake's song playing back to back. And Drake needs to go into...
Yo, hold on. Who was that? Was that like a Was that like a pun or something? And just hear a Drake song playing back to back. Yo, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. Yo, what? He really did not just say that. If you walk into a bar and hear a Drake song playing back to back, yo, back to back, the Meek Mill disc, and then like Drake songs playing back to back. Oh my god, that was tough. That was tough.
To that same
That's a
Starbucks
bar
just
right
in a
there.
different city and see people wearing Yeezys and just hear Drake song playing back to back. And Drake needs to go into that same Starbucks just in a different city and see people wearing Yeezys. And it puts us both back into the studio. And, you know, God sets up these almost similar characters, these doppelgangers. It makes me really realize God has a sense of humor. Like, why is John Galliano and Mark Jacobs the exact same human being, just placed in a different place? Or why does God have it where Bernard Arnault cannot purchase Gucci, not even through the Chinese market? God does this to remind us that we are not God. Because when you take people like Elon Musk and Bernard Arnault and Trump or Jack Ma, Putin, you take these people in their own space, in their own environments, you know, we can start to feel like gods on earth, but we are nothing in comparison to God. And we are here actually to love one another and to collaborate and to make the world a better place. There's, 1% of the world are placed in power and 99% of the world are the audience. So that 1% of the world, this idea of a United Nations, this is the world that needs to come together. This is the world that, here's the obvious go-to. Biden doesn't listen to Elon Musk. The president of the United States does not have meetings with Elon Musk. That is, hey, here, come get me. That's retarded. I know I'm not supposed to say that, Biden, but that's retarded, Biden. And and obviously because I've been deemed with mental health, all this, I have the right to use whatever words that I like to use.
Well, that's interesting.
Ask another question.
Well, yeah, let me ask you on that. So you just said something very inflammatory about President Biden. It will, as you know, offend a lot of people, and it will particularly offend people who work in mental health. You say you should not use a word like retarded, but you say that because you yourself have had mental health issues, that entitles you to use that kind of word as an insult. Now, I would say that's an arguable point.
I've had my issue is I've had mental health allegations.
So do you believe that you have any form of mental illness?
I believe that I suffered from exhaustion.
Yo.
I believe that I suffered from exhaustion. I suffered from being lied to constantly by the people around me. And I believe those things can drive anyone to a point of maximum exhaustion. But I also believe that I'm extremely brilliant and I'm here to make the world a better place. And I'm tired of the left media trying to pick on me. And y'all picked on me enough. And y'all finally touched the person that's not going to take it anymore. And that's part of the reason why I'm on Uncensored, because what they'd like is for me to be quiet. Interesting thing about racism and cancel culture, it's kind of similar, right? Racism works on itself. I can go into the Gucci store at age 18 and I just assume that people think that I'm about to steal, so I buy more things. With cancel culture, when I brought Marilyn Manson on stage with me when he was dealing with allegations, my stepbrother Marilyn was canceling himself. So many people comment on my White Lives Matter t-shirt. There's people who are saying right there in Fashion Week, when are you going home? I'm so afraid. People thought I was going to cancel myself. I'm not going to cancel myself. I'm going to keep on delivering what I feel, because guess what? It's very split opinions, by the way. If I talk to a black person that makes under $1 million a year, they really relate
Say
to
a
the George
million or
Floyd.
100 million?
They to a black person that makes under $1 million a year, they really relate to the George Floyd comments and feel hurt that I would even bring it up and question the approach. They have multiple documentaries on.
Now, I heard he had made some comments about the George Floyd murder, but I don't know what comments he said in particular, specifically.
Up and question the approach. They have multiple documentaries on the death of JFK, but we're just supposed to believe this one media outlet version that preyed on our trauma and our pain. And then if I talk to rich black people or white people, Jew or Catholic or atheist, they're really into the Jewish media comment because it affects their business interests.
Okay, well, look,
and it was really interesting.
Let me just pick you up on the two things you've mentioned. The first one is what you said about George Floyd. And the reality of that, it's not a media interpretation of how he died, because the Hennepin County Chief Medical Examiner concluded that Floyd died from cardiopulmonary arrest. His heart stopped, complicated.
I know this is something serious, but I just had to say something. He said cardiac pulmonary. It's pulmonary. That was just funny to me.
Died from cardiopulmonary arrest. His heart stopped, complicated by the way the police restrained him and compressed his neck. Now, he also said there were other contributing conditions.
Wait.
Well, hang on, let me finish. There were other contributing conditions, narrowed arteries, high blood pressure, and fentanyl intoxication. But although these were significant conditions, he said, and things that played a role in the death, they didn't directly cause the death. The cause of death was what that policeman did with his knee to George Floyd.
Person?
Well, why would a coroner lie?
What makes you believe that?
Why would a coroner lie?
Because he could get paid to lie. Because he could get paid to lie. Because
he got some truth right there. He could absolutely get paid to lie. But yeah, I could see that. People do anything for money. So Ye's not wrong about that. He could absolutely lie.
What makes you believe that person?
Well, why would a coroner lie?
What makes you believe that?
Why would a coroner lie?
Because he could get paid to lie. Because he could get paid to lie. Because he's
I
watched it.
I watched it for 8 minutes.
The majority of the press.
Right, but I watched it for 8 minutes.
Now tell me this: have you seen the Candace Owens BLM documentary?
I have watched some of that documentary, but here's what I would say to you. When you watch that video of George Floyd...
No, it's not a but. It's not. Well,
I haven't watched the whole thing.
I need you to watch.
I know.
Okay,
I know what you said about... I know Candace.
I'm going to finish. La, la,
it's all right.
La.
You don't have to do that. It's fine. I know what it means.
La, la, la means be quiet and let me finish.
Right, but you did interrupt my question.
So with the BLM... No, I wasn't finished. You're pressing agenda. You haven't seen the whole thing.
I don't have an agenda. I just read...
Yeah, are they like arguing right now? Is this like they're like really arguing?
I wasn't finished. You're pressing agenda. You haven't seen the whole thing.
I don't have an agenda. I just read you what the coroner said.
So we can have 20 different perspectives on how JFK died, but us as black people, not only can we only vote one way, we're not allowed to have any other perspectives, and that the area for George Floyd, where he passed, the murder rate is up 50%, and nothing, this is so-called movement, but it didn't move blacks anywhere.
Right, now listen.
So me as a black person.
I will say there are legitimate questions about the Black Lives Matter movement, no question. But on the specific point about how George Floyd died, I don't think it's in question about what actually killed him. It was that police officer with his knee on his neck.
Well, it is in question. It isn't question. I'm questioning.
Well, you can question it, but what you're questioning is a coroner report.
Do you have friends that were killed by police officers? Do you have friends that were locked up? Do you have people aborting half your race? No. So I am the black person with the black experience that's worth $11 billion and is the most influential person.
Whoa, hold up. Did Kanye just say he's worth $11 billion? That's a lie. That's a lie. But he really just came at him crazy with those facts. You have like half your abortion trying to be killed. You have friends locked up. Like, oh my god.
Friends, do you have people aborting half your race? No. So I am the black person with the black experience that's worth $11 billion and is the most influential person on the planet. And I am questioning it.
Okay.
And I have a right to question it.
Absolutely.
You can't tell me with your accent that me as an American Jew black person that I cannot question that death and question the means behind that was put on camera.
I'm not saying you
to
can't
traumatize. I'm not finished. La 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 means let me finish.
Okay.
I'm not finished talking. So I cannot see, because you distract my thoughts and then you try to make me look like a crazy person and you feel you have the right to cut me off, and I've proven you guys don't.
Yo, when Ye gets all into his he's like above other people and he's like real knowledgeable and shit. That shit really got it. That shit just like really like impresses me. Like with Kanye like really like imparting knowledge and like wisdom on people.
Want it with.
This is why I love Ye.
You feel you have the right to cut me off, and I've proven you guys don't want it with me. This is like Terminator 20. You've never seen this before. You've never seen this before, so I want no one to play with me. Mm-hmm. I have the right to question because that videotape was used to traumatize my people and force us into the Democratic vote. Hey, George Soros, you're a real competitor. I respect you. I'm worth more money than you, and I have more influence than you, and have, Piers Morgan from a different country saying, well, I'm not going to do an English accent because that would be racist. I'm funny, by the way.
That's fine. You can do that. As I said to you, the show is uncensored, Ye. You can say what the hell you like, right? But that doesn't mean I can't pick you up on a few things, right? You accept that.
I accept that, but you try to say it is unquestionable because this one Dr. Fauci said this. I know it wasn't Dr. Fauci, but I'm just giving an example where we hear from even Google. Like, people feel like, if you Google it, it's factual. There's so much non-factual information about me on Google, but then I still believe Google. And people pay to get certain information to the top of Google. But this is good. Keep going. Where else you want to go with it?
Here's where I want to go. The civil rights lawyer Lee Merritt responded to what you said about George Floyd's death and said, while one cannot defame the dead, the family of George Floyd is considering suit, which they're now doing. As you know, they're suing you for $250 million for...
They're suing Kanye for $250 million. And Kanye literally just said a little while ago that he only has 120 million in his account. He don't even have 250 mil.
Ye's full statements and said, while one cannot defame the dead, the family of George Floyd is considering suit, which they're now doing. As you know, they're suing you for $250 million for Ye's false statements about the manner of his death, claiming Floyd died from fentanyl, not the brutality established criminally and civilly, undermines and diminishes the Floyd family's fight. So what is your response to that?
Well, anybody who loses a loved one, my heart goes out to them. Any race, my heart goes out to the pain of that. I have a theory about it. Now, this is not a fact. This is a feeling that I have. In the documentary, George Floyd's two roommates said that George kept saying, they want a tall guy like me. They want a tall guy like me. So for me, I'm a creative, right? I can make a dinosaur out of a femur, right? So if I'm making a dinosaur out of a femur and I'm looking at a documentary that says George Floyd was telling his two roommates they want a tall guy like me, and on the day of his death, he prayed for 8 minutes. They said he prayed longer than he ever prayed. What do you think, me as a creative mind, the beautiful mind, right, the sensitive mind, what do you think I feel could have happened in that situation?
All right. Well, honestly, if I'm being honest with you, I would say that because of your brilliant, beautiful, creative mind, as you put it, and I don't dispute that at all, you've got an extraordinary mind. And I can see that in the way that you conduct interviews. You go off on very long tangents, but they're
Hold on, he didn't say beautiful. He added that in there.
and I can see that in the way that you conduct interviews. You go off on very long tangents, but they're sort of fascinating. I find it fascinating to listen to you. I'm not saying you don't have a right
Sort
to
of,
question.
quite. Yeah. These are like Capote.
Okay, hold up. Why is he? Ye is really he keeps cutting him off, but then he's gonna complain and say something when Piers Morgan cuts him off. Like, nah, that's Ye little on some hypocrisy type shit. you can't complain if when Piers Morgan cuts you off, but you cutting him off. Like, you literally just cut him off.
Listen to you. I'm not saying you don't have a right
Sort
to
of,
question.
quite. Yeah. These are like Capote level fascinating tangents.
No, they're not. They're not. I'm just saying it's the way you conduct yourself, and I think that's very interesting.
What do you mean? It's or not? Why is it? Oh, it's not Capote level.
Actually, I think
you Capote level.
If you
sort of.
If you would like me to compare you to Truman Capote, I am happy to do that. Yay. If you want to be known as the new Capote, okay. I'm with you. Okay. I'm not going to question your talent. Your talent to me is completely unquestionable. Right. When you question
answer the question about the femur to the dinosaur.
No, I'm going to ask you a different question.
Situation.
I'm just going to ask you this. What?
No, you're not. You're gonna. No, I didn't finish my question.
Well, hang on. You can't tell me.
Answer my question.
You can't
first.
tell me what questions to ask you. You said that I'm the interviewer.
Answer my question. No, I said answer my question. No, I'm interviewing you too.
Well, you can't interview me. It's my interview.
Yo, look at this man's face when he says that. I'm interviewing you too. Why do you make that face? Look, it's paused right on his face. That shit is funny. That shit is funny as hell.
Answer my question. No, I'm interviewing you too.
Well, you can't interview me. It's my interview.
You're Bono. I'm interviewing you too. See, that's the way we rap.
Let me just.
You know what I'm saying?
No. Let me just put this to you.
So no. You're trying to avoid.
Hang on.
You're trying to avoid.
No. La. To put quite a phrase. You're interrupting me now.
I'm going to get back to it.
All right, you can, but let me ask you.
Because you haven't answered my question.
Here's my question for you, which you haven't answered.
No, I'm not. Don't answer my question with a question.
Yeah.
I'm not answering anything to you.
I'm going back to my original question in a way, which is simply this. I'm not saying you don't have a right to question how George Floyd died, but given the world watched that horrifying video of that policeman's knee on his neck.
It's fine. It's fine. There's plenty of things that are fine to do in private. Like, you can't, once you publicize it, it takes it to a whole different level. Like, it's fine if Ye wants to question how George Floyd died, but don't go and publicize it and like go make a tweet about it or go like put it on your Instagram story or make a YouTube video or any of that. Like, don't go do that, because that's when you get the internet and you get the public's eyes on what you just said. Like, you don't go doing that. It's fine if you want to go talk about it with some friends, like in private. That's one thing, but don't go and publicize it. Then you just like shooting yourself in the foot. You just asking for trouble.
And given that is what the coroner said caused his death, albeit he had other but given the world watched that horrifying video of that policeman's knee on his neck, and given that is what the coroner said caused his death, albeit he had other underlying conditions, including fentanyl intoxication, when the family see someone like you who's hugely influential, you're known around the world, questioning how their loved one died, they find that very hurtful, which is why they're now suing you for it. And my question for you is, do you understand the pain that sometimes your comments can cause, like this circumstance with George Floyd's family?
Now, I'm going to ask you a question again.
But, yo, he literally, I don't understand it. Like, the hypocrisy is crazy. He literally just told Piers Morgan, don't answer a question with a question. But then Piers Morgan just asked him a question. Do you understand the pain of of what happens when you say your words or something like that. And then he said, "Now I'm gonna ask you a question." But why you literally just told him don't answer a question on a question, and then you go and do that? Like I don't. The hypocrisy is crazy to me.
Floyd's family.
Now I'm going to ask you a question again. With my imagination, when you see in the documentary that George Floyd's two roommates he said they want a tall guy like me, they want a tall guy like me, and that he prayed extra long on the day of his passing. Where do you think that takes my beautiful mind?
I think it can take you to a place where you want to believe something which may not be true. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying all the evidence points. I'm giving you an honest answer. My honest answer is I think that
that wasn't honest. That was a political
my honest belief is that.
What do you guys do? People in the newsroom, what are they doing? They're like cringing right now. They're like, whoa.
No.
We never experienced this before. We
I'm
never experienced
not cringing.
A black entertainer that won't be threatened by the media to back down from his opinion.
Yeah, I think you mistake me. You mistake me for somebody who's going to be like the others. I have a show called Uncensored for a reason. I'm giving you a platform for a reason.
But you're pressing an agenda.
No, I'm not. You're perfecly entitled to your opinions.
Your agenda.
But do you accept
you're lying now?
Do you accept you may not always be right?
I just called you a liar. How does that make you feel?
That's fine if you think I'm a liar. It's fine.
Yeah. Why did he say it like that? I just called you a liar. How does that make you feel? Why did he say it like that? This man's trolling him. This man's trolling Piers Morgan.
Liar. How does that make you feel?
It's fine if you think I'm a liar. It's fine.
No, you're a liar. You're pressing the agenda
He's getting serious.
The pain and trauma economy that is pressed on my people by the left.
Actually, the trauma I think that was implemented to George Floyd was from a vile white racist police officer who kneed him to his death. And I agree with the coroner's findings because I don't see any reason why the coroner would invent that. So that's my belief. If you want to challenge that and you don't believe it, that's...
But he literally already answered, Ye already answered why the coroner would invent that, as Piers Morgan just stated. He said because he could be getting paid to lie, which is very true. It's a very likely possibility. We just don't know that. And honestly, I never even came to that conclusion, but it is a possibility. Whether it's true or not, that's to be found out. That's we don't know yet. We don't have information on that.
Why the coroner would invent that. So that's my belief. If you want to challenge that and you don't believe it, that's entirely your right.
I have a question. Who do you think are the biggest vile white racist? The media.
You think the media is racist?
Oh my, Ye's face right after he just asked that question. So he dead serious. He's like, who do you think is the biggest racist? This man is so serious. Okay, the biggest vile white racist, the media. That's crazy, his face, damn well he really means that. He really thinks the media is racist.
Media.
You think?
I have a question. Who do you think are the biggest vile white racist? The media.
You think the media is racist?
What? Please, next question. Please don't ask me any retarded questions.
Okay, let me go.
He literally said the word retarded. The Piers Morgan just talked about it. You're not to use that word.
Please, next question. Please don't ask me any retarded questions.
Wait a minute. So Ye must have asked Piers Morgan that question. It must have been a rhetorical question then. Like, come on, like you know the media is the most racist. So like, let's not fuck around. Like, let's not play around. You know the media is racist. And then Piers Morgan actually asked, like, you think the media is racist? And then that's why he said, don't ask me that retarded question. Like, don't ask me retarded questions. Like, next question.
What? Please, next question. Please don't ask me any retarded questions.
Okay, let me go to the next furore, which has been around you in the last couple of weeks, which is your attacks.
Is that British for theory? Is that British for theory? What's theory, bro? Is that British for theory?
You actually have quite a good British accent. That's quite good. Let me ask you, if I can, about the allegations that you have made anti-Semitic comments. And in particular, when you said on Instagram, I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Now, many people who are...
Oh, that's the comment? DEFCON 3 on Jewish people? What?
Semitic comments. And in particular, when you said on Instagram, I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Now, many people who are Jewish found that deeply offensive. They wanted to know, what did you mean by going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people? Because DEFCON 3, as you know, is a heightened state of awareness for military action. So what did you mean by that? Here's your chance to clarify what you meant by DEFCON 3 on Jewish people.
Well, thank you for allowing me to say what I meant due to the fact that I was blocked by Jewish people after I said that. So I wasn't actually allowed to say what I was about to say. But what I was going to say is I was going to talk about all of the contracts, all of the misdealings that I dealt with as an entertainer. Being that I'm an entertainer, I've been wronged so many times by Jewish businessmen. And the reason why I say people, if a black man is caught in the car with drugs or a gun, and there's 3 other black guys in the car with him, guess what? They're all going to jail. So the reason why I say people is I want those businessmen's wives and fathers, mothers, grandmothers, and kids to ask them, why?
If a black man... Hold on. We're going to talk about that.
And there's 3 other black guys in the car. And the reason why I say people, if a black man is caught in the car with drugs or a gun.
Okay, if a black man is caught in the car with drugs and a gun, and there's 3 other black men in the car, they're all going to jail. I don't know if I agree with that. I mean, well, actually, yeah, because they're drugs. But the gun is obviously, it's only going to be one person's, but I understand it because they're drugs. But what's his point on saying that? Because I feel like the same thing would happen if it was a white guy that was caught with gun and drugs. And the whole car was full of white guys. I feel like the same thing would have happened if it was white guys. So I don't understand, like, his point is saying that. Is he saying because it wouldn't have happened that, like, the whole car of white people wouldn't have been arrested if it was the same situation? That's what I think he's getting at.
If a black man is caught in the car with drugs or a gun, and there's 3 other black guys in the car with him, guess what? They're all going to jail. So the reason why I say people is I want those businessmen's wives and fathers, mothers, grandmothers, and kids to ask them, why is Ye so mad at us? Because they're taking money out of my children's mouths and putting it into their children's mouths. I'll give you this parallel and this analogy. If you take I just talked to Irina Shayk, right? And if you look at a picture of her at age 14, this person is beautiful, like one of the most beautiful people that God has ever created, right? And if any man did her wrong at a young age, she would get to the point where maybe she would actually hate men. You've heard that terminology, right? So I'm in a point where I'm frustrated. I have the right to my anger, and I'm saying that people need to fix it. I'm not going to fix what I feel until what I'm feeling is fixed.
Okay, can I
You're
respond
not
to...
just going to shut me up and say,
No, I'm not going to shut you up.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I respond to what you just said?
Yes.
My problem with what you've said, I'll be straight with you, is that if I, as a white man, posted tomorrow on my Instagram, I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on black people, what would you think?
Jew.
No, if I said black people, what would you think? If that was what I posted?
Well, did you accept that black people, you accepted that black people are
I like how he gave Ye how he flipped it on Ye and asked Ye how he would have thought. Cause that's a good comparison. But honestly, if he had posted that on his Instagram or wherever, Twitter, if he had posted that, he would have got so much more backlash than Ye got for saying that about Jews. He would have got so much more backlash because he's white and because it's against blacks. He would have got kicked up. Oh my god, he would have been canceled quick. He would have been taken off all social media. He probably would have got fined. They probably would have hit him with some charges. They would have buried his ass. They would have buried his ass.
a Jew?
If that was what I posted?
Well, did you accept that black people? You accepted that black people are Jew, or
No,
you're
but
not accepting that idea?
I'll come to that in a moment. On the specific, though, if I simply said,
Okay.
in other words, all black people was the implication of what I said, I would get rightly cancelled. I would get rightly vilified and abused. You, I suspect, would be outraged by a white person saying such a thing because you wouldn't make any distinction about whether I was talking about certain black business people I'd fallen out with or whatever. You would think I was judging an entire populace by the color of their skin. You are, by saying Jewish people, on Jewish people, you're not saying Jewish businessmen, accountants, whatever, that you've had a problem with. You're basically saying in that statement, all Jewish people, which is why it caused such offense. And I'm curious whether you, even as you wrote those words, understood what Jewish people actually would feel when you said that and didn't make any specific references to any individuals.
Maybe they would feel how all my people have felt. Maybe they would feel the pain of when a black artist looks up and they've completely been raped by 5 Jewish businessmen. And there's multiple accounts.
Why does the fact that they're Jewish have anything to do with it?
Maybe they would feel like that.
But why would you say
it just so happens they are?
Well, okay, but why categorize them according to their religious faith, their ethnicity? Why would you do that? Why can't you just describe them as business people that you've dealt with? That's fine, but what you're doing by saying Jewish people, these constant tirades, against Jewish people, many people...
Hold on, I needed to do my research on, because I'm wondering why Kanye keeps saying black people are Jews. Like, I'm wondering why he keeps saying that, because to my knowledge, I never even heard of a black person being Jewish at all. So I looked it up and I see I clicked on a couple articles and I see one that says there's a phrase that says Jews are the new chosen people referenced in the Bible. Okay, I'm gonna read the article. It says while this phrase has been used by many throughout history, today it is most commonly used by black supremacists claiming black people, not Jews, are the true chosen people of God. Black supremacy has roots in black chosenness, the belief that African Americans are the descendants of 12 Hebrew tribes. That's what Ye was talking about earlier in the video when he said something about 12 tribes. 12 Hebrew tribes of Israel who settled across Africa after the destruction of the kingdom of Israel and were eventually sold into slavery during the Atlantic slave. And I see this post. They're not real Jews. Okay. So black supremacy argues that black people are superior to all other races and the white Jews are imposters. Okay, well that makes sense because it's they're saying it's black supremacy. So I get that they think that. I'm not That's not right. I'm not saying by any means that's right at all because I don't agree with black supremacy, white supremacy. I don't agree with one race being superior to another. That's racism at its finest. Elements of black supremacy can be found within the Black Hebrew Israelite movement as within in the age of social media, some black supremacists have co-opted the language of white supremacists when discussing Jews, calling them termites and bugs with some anti-Semites on both the right and the left claim that Ashkenazi Jews are fake Jews and that Israel is fake nation. This accusation has been historically by those in dispelling the Jewish community. Okay, that's all it says on the article. Look, I can show y'all right now. Look, yeah, y'all can read it. Y'all can see it. But yeah, I don't think there's such thing. I think Kanye is wrong when he says that. I've never heard in all my 25 years of living, I've never heard anything about a black person being Jewish. I've never heard that. I think it's just black. It has to do with the history of black supremacy. Just based on what I read, it's like people who are involved in believe in black supremacy. They think that there are black Jews based on the 12 tribes, and that they descended from there was black slaves from like in Israel, I think, and they're Jewish. So I think yeah, yeah. So I think Kanye is wrong about that. But I mean, y'all could feel free to do your own research and let me know in the comments what you think. Is there such a thing as a black Jewish person? Can someone be black and Jewish? Because I just read 99% of Jewish people identify as white or non-Hispanic, and I've seen multiple sources, but I don't know. Ye saying one thing, but not everything Kanye West is gonna say is true.
These constant tirades, Ye, their ethnicity. Why?
Of when a black artist looks up and they've completely been raped by 5 Jewish businessmen, and there's multiple accounts.
Why does the fact that they're Jewish have anything to do with it?
Maybe they would feel like that.
But why would you say
it just so happens they are?
Well, okay, but why categorize them according to their religious faith?
Right.
Their ethnicity. Why would you do that? Why can't you just describe them as business people that you've dealt with?
Right.
That's fine. But what you're doing by saying Jewish people, these constant tirades, against Jewish people, many people find
why
that
are you calling
they just
it tirade? That sounds like you have it.
I think it's a tirade.
Where's the tirade? That was a tweet. It was a tweet.
It's not just a tweet.
And you asked me to explain it. And that, have you felt my pain yet? You haven't felt my pain. You don't want to feel my pain.
Well, no,
you don't hold You don't hold accountability to my pain. You're being a Karen.
I'm talking about. I'm not a Karen
to the pain.
I'm not.
He said he's being a Karen. That's funny.
Hold You don't hold accountability to my pain.
Funny.
You're being a Karen.
I'm talking about.
I'm not a Karen
to the pain. I'm not a Karen, and I'm not going to cancel you, and I'm not going to uncensor you. I'm simply going to challenge you on what you're saying. I think you don't understand the pain that you've been causing with some of these comments, and I think that one in particular.
The world's gonna have to face it. The world's gonna look. No matter how hard you try, you could drop him from Adidas, block him on social media, railroad him in the comments, all the comments. You can't. It's a proven fact. It's a proven fact. You can't cancel Kanye West, and I'm stamping that. You can't. You just can't. Kanye West is uncancelable. You can't cancel him. You just can't. You can't. He's too big of a person to cancel. You can't cancel him.
You don't
cancel me.
understand the pain that you've been causing with some of these comments. And I think that one in particular, I can understand.
Oh my God. God forbid one comment could cause people to feel any of the pain that my people have went through for years. Even like the blacks being ushered to the left during the civil rights movement. No one has cared about black people.
Okay, why does... All right.
No one is...
Can I mean, say, I agree that the racism against black people has been utterly deplorable, shameful, unacceptable, and thank God the world is beginning to move to a better place about the way it has treated black people like you. However, one form of racism, doesn't justify...
it's almost in a better place.
Well, one form of racism doesn't justify another.
It's not a better...
I knew he was gonna say that. I could already finish his thought. Like, one form of racism doesn't justify another. And yeah, I get it. Cause that comment on Instagram, it does sound racist. If you think about it, it does sound racist. So when Piers Morgan had flipped it on Ye, it said, if he had made that comment, I feel sleepy and I'm about to go DEFCON 3 on black people. Of course, that sounds racist too. Just think about it that way. Like, that absolutely sounds racist. So what Ye says should absolutely sound racist as well.
I'm not cutting you off. I'm finishing my sentence so you can respond. One form of racism. It is racism when you say I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. That's racism.
It's not.
It is.
I thought you had a platform where I could explain how I felt. You don't care about how I feel. You just want to shut me up. You don't want me to say out loud what my people have been going through.
I do.
Or do you?
I do. I'm very happy to do that.
So what have my people have been going through? What led me to that point?
My point is,
what led me, a person, a successful, influential, extremely attractive person to get to that point?
I am not doubting for a moment that you will feel genuine pain about the racism against you and other black people.
Okay, I feel like, because he said DEFCON 3, but I feel like the fact that he categorized a race, that's what makes it racist, because he specifically said Jewish people. If he said Asian, it would have been considered racist. If he said Latinos, it would have been considered racist. White people, racist. But like, if he said I'm about to go DEFCON 3 on like, if I'm about to go DEFCON 3 on Joe Biden, or I'm about to go DEFCON 3 on like anybody in particular, that's not going to be considered racist. But I feel like it's because he said it to a group of people. But then again, Jewish is not a race. I was literally thinking about it. Jewish is not a race. Just because you say you're Jewish, that's not a race. I think that's like, I don't know what that is, but Jewish is not a race though, I don't think. German is a race. Yeah, Jewish is not a race. I don't think so. Wait, why didn't it play?
People in America, not for 1 second would I
Racism by who?
Would I deny that?
Racism by who?
Well, by anybody. I think any form of racism is wrong. Any form of racism is wrong.
I didn't say DEFCON on anybody though.
You said DEFCON 3 on Jewish people, specifically Jewish people.
Right.
You didn't say any particular Jewish person. You said basically all of them. That is racism, Ye. And I think if you were honest with yourself, given the fallout from this, you would think again about how you phrased that sentence. Because actually, you didn't mean all Jewish people.
Given the fallout. Do you
care about the hurt you caused Jewish people?
What fallout?
Well, you were removed from social media.
Wait a second, you're not allowing me to talk, Chris. Chris. Oh, I thought it was the same person.
He's American. I'm British.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the thing is, I want to bring joy to the world. I'm a composer, right? And this is a symphony. Our life is a symphony. We have so many beautiful ideas, but I feel the anti-Semite has been a wall, a cloak that allows Jewish businessmen, boom, I'll only be the police officer that says, hey, this guy with the gun is the only person going to jail. I'll be the first person that does that in history, right? So look, no one else in this car riding with the guy with the gun and the drugs is going to jail. Are you happy? I'll play by rules that are not played by from my people, just for the sake of this conversation.
I don't want you playing by any.
So
I don't want you playing by any.
That makes you happy, right?
I don't want you to say things just to make me happy.
That's what colonizers do, is give us rules.
I'm not trying to
colonize you. That's what colonizers do, is give us rules.
I'm not trying to colonize you. I'm not trying to censor you. All I'm saying to you is, when you use a phrase, like I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people.
Did you hear what I just said, though?
Yes, I did.
We're past that. We're past that in a conversation.
Well, hang on. We're not past it.
Did you hear what I just said?
We're not past it unless you're prepared.
Are you happy that I said I'll focus?
Let me explain what
on.
Let me
Are
explain.
you happy that I said?
I know. I heard what you
Whoa, brother! Why are you talking over me?
Let me respond.
Chris.
I'm Piers. Let's respond. Let me respond, right? I'm simply saying what you've just said is not what you said on your Instagram post, and you know it, right? If you have a problem with particular businessmen who happen to be Jewish, that is a concern for you.
And you know it.
So you talk about all Jewish people.
But brother, what is the point? Brother, do you want me to grow from the statement? I just told you, okay, I was in a position where I've been hurt, and this is the way I had the right to express myself. The point of this interview is for you to question me, and then for me to answer and say, okay, even though the same rules are not applied to my people, if a person with a gun or drugs is pulled over and has three other people in the car, they're all going to jail. I'm not going to apply that to Jewish people for the sake of the.
That is true when it comes to drugs. When it comes to a gun, I'm not so sure on that because it's a gun. It's not. If there's guns in the car, then yeah, the whole car is going to be arrested. But if it's one gun, I'm not sure about that. I think it would just be because, there's no way to know whose gun it is. So so they might all be arrested. But like the drugs, the multiple guns, definitely the whole car is being pulled over. It doesn't matter what race you are.
This conversation. Isn't that what you wanted? I'm not. Drugs is pulled over and has three other people in the car. They're all going to jail. I'm not going to apply that to Jewish people for the sake of this conversation. Isn't that what you wanted? But you know what you did? You tried to civil rights me. You tried to pull me back to a week ago, but we're here today. There's been plenty of conversations and commentary since that, but you want me to go back to 1960.
No.
You want me to go back to 7 days ago.
All right, let me jump in. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to reflect.
Okay, so have we grown? Have we grown?
Here's how we grow. Yeah, here's how we grow. I want you to reflect.
No, have we grown?
Have
we grown? You're not in charge of my growth. You're not in charge of my growth, Chris.
Okay, let me phrase it like this. I'm about to suggest to you how you may grow if you choose to grow this way. And you can ignore me. You can ignore me.
Piers, how much?
I think Piers is trying to get Ye to acknowledge and realize that his comment that he made about going DEFCON on Jews is racist, and how how the Jewish community can perceive it as racist, and realize what his comment made the Jewish community feel and why they were so offended by it. I think that's what Piers Morgan is trying to get Ye to understand.
How much money are you?
I'm about to suggest to you how you may grow if you choose to grow this way. And you can ignore me. You can ignore me.
Piers, how much money are you worth?
Not as much as you, sadly.
Exactly. So take my advice. Maybe you'll get richer.
I would love to take your business advice.
Why would I listen to you?
Why don't you hear what my advice is and then work out if I'm wrong?
Exactly. So take my advice. Maybe you'll get richer. That's fucked up. That's fucked up.
Well, why don't you hear what my advice is and then work out if I'm wrong? Can we do that deal?
You haven't given me any credit or a moment of reflection for the comparison that I made, the brilliant, if I do say so myself, comparison that I made to the cops pulling over one black person and locking everyone up.
I understand what you're saying.
And my tweet having issues. Wait a second, I wasn't done with the sentence. My tweet referring to all Jewish people, and I said, for the sake of this conversation, I will refer to the business people who have destroyed me and my people and my fellow creatives. But you didn't even accept that I gave you that. You tried to push me back into 1960.
No, I didn't.
You tried to push me back into last week.
No, I didn't.
Okay, do you accept that example that I gave you?
I understand completely the example you gave me. I think all racism is wrong.
So I feel that we've grown.
I would like you to reflect.
I feel we've grown. Do you feel we've grown?
If you've now changed what you wanted to say originally, my question for you is, do you now regret saying DEFCON 3 on Jewish people? Are you sorry you said that?
No.
I don't think it matters. You should be.
Absolutely not.
You should be.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, but yeah, you should be.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, that is so yay. That is so yay. And just based on that, you could tell like Ye is very, very, he's very arrogant. That's abundantly clear. But he's very, very stubborn. Like, I feel like deep down, he knows what he said is wrong and fucked up and racist. But being that Ye is who he is, he's not gonna back down from anything he says. He's gonna stand his ground regardless.
On Jewish people. Are you sorry you said that?
No.
I don't think it matters. You should be.
Absolutely not.
You should be.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, but yeah, you should be.
Absolutely not. Are the people, the Jewish businessmen that led me to that place, are they sorry for the way they've raped my
I don't know
people?
who you're talking about in particular, but I don't know why you keep having to say
And
they're
by the way,
Jewish.
you wouldn't-
What does the
but
fact
you would-
they're Jewish got to do with anything? Why do you keep
What do
doing
you
that?
mean? They're the Jewish businessmen that did that because
They're business
they are.
people.
That's what they did.
Why do you keep saying Jewish business people? Why do you keep using
Okay,
their religion, their ethnicity? Why do you keep doing that?
Let me update it then. Okay, so I'll say this. Would I have grown into the box you want me to go on if I say to specify the business people that have raped my people that just so happen to be Jewish?
I think by doing what you've just done, I find that I'm not even Jewish and I find that offensive. Why do you keep having to do that? I don't think you get it at all. I don't think you understand the offense you're causing when you keep using their religious background, their ethnicity, as a stick to beat them with. Why would you do that?
So what do you?
I feel like regardless of what Kanye West, regardless of what Ye said, I don't feel like Ye is racist at all. Like I don't feel like Ye is racist against Jewish people. I don't. Yeah, he said a negative comment about Jewish people in a negative way, but I don't feel like he's racist. Just because you said it. Okay, just because you said a comment that's perceived as racist to a group of people doesn't mean you're a racist person.
As a stick to beat them with. Why would you do that?
So what are you more concerned about? Getting the richest black man of all time to kowtow because it's not finna happen.
I don't want you to kowtow. You can do what the hell you like. You're a billionaire. You can do what the hell you want. I'm just saying to you that you like.
Richest black man of all time to kowtow because it's not finna happen.
I don't want you to kowtow. You can do what the hell you like. You're a billionaire. You can do what the hell you want. I'm just saying to you that I don't think you quite understand when you talk about. Okay, can I finish?
It's not Moti.
You're a multi-billionaire. Okay, well, congratulations. But that doesn't change the fact that when you insult the Jewish people and say you're going DEFCON 3 on the Jewish people, that is as racist as anything you say you've been through and any pain that you've experienced. It's the same thing. Racism is racism. And you know that, I think, don't you?
Yeah, obviously. That's why I said it.
So you said it knowing it's racist?
Wait, what? Sorry, I was looking up what cowtail meant.
Yeah, obviously, that's why I said it.
The Jewish people, that is as racist. But that doesn't change the fact that when you insult the Jewish people and say you're going DEFCON 3 on the Jewish people, that is as racist as anything you say you've been through and any pain that you've experienced. It's the same thing. Racism is racism. And you know that, I think, don't you?
I mean, there are different forms of racism. But I mean, yeah.
Yeah, obviously, that's why I said it.
So you said it knowing it's racist?
Yes, I fought fire with fire.
Okay.
I'm not here to get hosed down.
At least.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's always a meaning. There's always some type of reason Ye says and does what he does. Like, he said that comment for a reason. That's like I was at work. A couple months ago, right? Like, I mean, this is about a year ago, and we had they had closed down one of the boys' bathroom, cause on the walls it said like some like racist term, and it used the N-word, and they also had Confederate flags, and like no, not Confederate flags. They used a race. They used it said nigga in the and whatever the comment was written in Sharpie on the stall bathroom, and it had like a Nazi signs around it, and rumors were going around, like everybody saying like it's racist and shit, but like someone could have very easily like there's two possibilities. Somebody's actually like really racist and really wrote that like for real because they're really racist, or two, somebody could do what Ye just did with the whole Jew thing and fought fire with fire, and they're not really racist, but they just said that to prove that there's actually really racism going on, and that's a real thing. Like, there are people like that. So yeah, I understand. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, but this is why I say like Ye always does things and says things with a reason, with an ulterior motive behind it. This is why I love Ye. Like, I really respect him.
At least that's honest.
Yes, I fought fire with fire.
Okay.
I'm not here to get hosed down.
At least that's
It's a
honest.
different type of freedom fighter.
That's honest. All right. You were racist because you knew it was racist, but you decided to do that because people have been racist to you. Is that your position?
No, I'm not. First of all, I can't. What is the beginning? Read the whole tweet. I'm sure you have it in front of it. Somebody in your office has it. Get him a coffee in the Ye tweet.
What do you want to know? The whole tweet?
Get him a coffee in the Ye tweet.
I want you to read it out loud, sir.
I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. The funny thing is, I actually can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew. Also, you guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who opposes your agenda. That was it.
Okay, so that's like basically saying like, how am I gonna compare this? That's like saying I'm about to go DEFCON 3 on niggas. That's like saying that. That's like saying that. I'm about to go. Nah. Is that? Nah. I'm about to, like, that's like saying I'm about to start. I'm gonna start turning niggas into slaves again. I'm gonna start turning niggas into slaves again. That's like saying something like that. Okay. That's like I'm gonna start. That's like me saying I'm gonna start turning niggas into slaves again. I'm black, so I can't be anti-Semitic. That's like that. That's like that. He thinks because he's Jewish, he has a right to say that. So like, because I'm black, I have the right to say the N-word. Because I'm white, I have the right to say a cracker. Because I'm Hispanic, I have the right to say the word spick. That's like that.
Jew or 3 on Jewish people. The funny thing is I actually can't be
It's
anti-Semitic
ignorance. It's
because
ignorance
black people are actually
at its
Jew. Also,
finest.
you guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who opposes your agenda. That was the exact tweet.
I like reading that whole thing. I can't be anti-Semite. I love Jewish people. I work with Jewish people. Yo, watch this. Watch this. Some of my best friends are Jewish.
Right. So you know how that
How
sounds.
many times have you heard that statement?
Of course. Of course.
Wait.
That's the same shit when it comes to like people saying like the whole black thing. When it's like, I can't be racist. Some of my best friends are black. My boyfriend's black. My girlfriend's black. I can't be racist. My best friend is black. That's the same shit. It's the same shit.
Jewish people. Yo, watch this. Watch this. Some of my best friends are Jewish.
Right. So you know how that
How
sounds.
many times have you heard that statement?
Of course. Of course.
Wait. Have we ever heard that term before? But the funny thing is, they are. I work with Dove Charney that got kicked out of his company, out of American Apparel. I work with this guy every day. He's like my twin. He's one of my favorite people in the planet. And we work through that. And we talk through it. And he says, "Yay, why are you so mad?" And I'm like, this is why I'm mad. This contract right here, what's going to happen before I'm done, we're going to open up all of the music industry contracts, all of the publishing deals, all of the athlete deals, all of the acting deals, all of the mortgages, all of the deals.
But that's
where
fine. But yeah, that's all fine.
business people who we went at.
That's all fine. You can do all
But
of
it
course
has
you
to
can
start
do that.
somewhere.
Of course you can do all that. And when you do that,
has to start somewhere.
I hope you won't be judged as a black business person doing it all the time. That people don't phrase it all the time by the color of your skin, but by your business acumen. Isn't that what you would like? Isn't that what equality actually means?
Of course I'll be judged by that, because when people come into power, people get judged. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nobody that gets judged more than a straight white male.
Straight white male.
What is a woman? Can you tell me that?
A straight white male.
Oh, you're at the Women's March. You must
Nah. I
have
don't
some
know if I
idea.
agree with
Please,
that.
if one person could tell me what a woman
You
is.
are not here for women. We ask you to leave.
What is that?
I don't know if I agree with that.
People get judged. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nobody that gets judged more than a straight white male. The straight white male has the least amount of a platform to even speak. A straight white male can't say, "My wife hurt me today," because people will say, "Well, you're hurting women." A straight white male can't say, "Hey, a black employee didn't come in to work on time," because then people will say you're racist. A straight white male can't speak on a homosexual person because they'll say you're homophobic. And so I empathize with the position of the straight white male. And part of the reason why I empathize with that position is because I know that I'm headed to that position. And what position that is? Top power position.
Okay.
That's the top power position where you get all the rocks thrown. And
Okay.
that's the thing. I have friends, right, that will actually that's the reason why I'm going to be a good leader someday, because I'm really empathetic. But I call black people out on their stuff. I call white people out on their stuff, because we're all people. We're actually only one species. And in order to, whether it's my friends texting me like, "Bro, you got to get in the gym. You're looking chubby in the photo." It's like we have to hold each other accountable to what's actually happening. And it's so much is based on you did that tweet wrong. So what I will say is, I feel that my words demand more sensitivity for the frequency that I'm operating at and and the amount of people that I'm communicating to. And I take that responsibility right now. But I will also say everything has a reason, because if it had been perfectly worded in English, and because there's nothing whiter than English itself, right? I'm already not speaking in my mother tongue, right? So if I had perfectly worded it in the most sensitive way, then we wouldn't be here right now. Now we're opening up the conversation. Like I'm not allowed to say whether or not I'm running for office in 2024, but I tell you what, if the left, let's say the left would have never supported me anyway. And now I've got to call to attention, I am who you should support. The left did not allow Trump to be president. They treated him like he wasn't even the president. So even then he won, he was losing half of the American people every day, and it divided the country. What I'm saying, whoever goes into office, for British media, for American media, we must support our leaders and not just run this hyper negative. You know what I will? And black people hate when I apologize for this. When I see people like John Legend and Chrissy Teigen talk down on the president, I'm like, wow, that kind of sounds like me. That kind of sounds like the telethon. I opened up this level of disrespect towards our leaders. And people were happy. And the left saw that and say, well, let's just have every celebrity do what Ye did at the telethon. So I take responsibility for that moment. And you know what? I just want to give every Jewish person a big hug. Also, I'm envious of the Jewish people. I'm envious of how they don't abort their children. I'm envious of how they don't shoot each other in the streets and then rap about it. I'm envious of how their families stay together. I'm envious that they turn their phones off on Friday night and the family.
Yeah, that is. I will say that, and I got family that's Jewish. I mean, I'm not Jewish, but I got people we consider family that's Jewish. But so I know for a fact that they don't abort their kids. I will attest to that. That's definitely true. They don't believe in condoms. They don't believe in condoms. I got a family friend right now. She has 12 kids. Yeah, she's on her 12th child, I believe. She's a stay-at-home mom, obviously, and her husband's working 3 jobs. They got 2 refrigerators and 2 stoves. And the oldest is a year older than me, so she's 25, cuz I'm about to turn 25, so she's probably like 26 now. And the youngest is like, I think, like either she's pregnant, or the youngest is is a newborn. One or the other. But that's crazy though.
Their families stay together. I'm envious that they turn their phones off on Friday night and the family comes together. I'm envious of how they do the business together. And I want that for the darker Jews. I want that for the black people. I want that. We need that. God said we should remove the word want, right?
Okay.
We're going to have that.
Okay.
And this is the beginning of it.
But it seems to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me that you are acknowledging, as you've just acknowledged that it was wrong to say what you said about President Bush when he said he doesn't care about black people, and that may have encouraged all this disrespect towards presidents since. I think it's an interesting point you made. It does seem to me, Ye, talking to you, that even if it's hard for you to admit this, that you do...
I can't speak on that whole Bush thing, whether or not Bush likes black people or not, or hates black people, because like before Barack Obama, I had no knowledge on presidents at all. No political knowledge at all. Before Barack Obama, the only ones I know about is Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, and Trump. Those are the only 4. The only 4. And Hillary Clinton wasn't even a president. She was just running. Those are the only 4. Before Barack Obama, I don't even know anything about any of the other presidents we've had.
You regret the wording of that tweet which caused all the problems, and you wouldn't phrase it. It does seem to me, Ye, talking to you, that even if it's hard for you to admit this, that you do regret the wording of that tweet which caused all the problems, and you wouldn't phrase it that way again. Am I right?
I would tell my dad that. My dad loved the White Lives Matter t-shirt, because what audacity does a black man have to wear the exact same t-shirt that a white man could wear? You know, and my dad was a Black Panther. I mean, we have a water purification center. You know, he's like the original Steve Jobs.
Oh, respect. Respect. His dad was a Black Panther? Okay. I respect that. Well, what Ye's like? How old is he? Ye's got to be like 50. Kanye West, how old is he? Okay, so Ye is 45. Okay, so Ye is 45. So his dad's probably like around like retirement. So around like 65-ish. So yeah, his dad was a Black Panther. So like around like 1960 he was born. So his dad was a Black Panther. It's interesting. Respect that.
Verification
I
Center.
respect it.
You know, he's like the original Steve Jobs.
Right.
He's the educated version of me, right? And he liked
The
both of
original
those
Steve
things,
Jobs.
but he said, you know, Ye. He even calls me Ye now. He's like, Ye, you've got to be more sophisticated with your wording, and that wording, like I said, I'm a bit sleepy, and it lacked the sophistication needed to be the true conductor that I am. Because it's the conductor's job to bring people together, and that was divisive,
Right.
which is not who I want to be.
Right. So
you know,
we-
so I'll tell you that I'm not looking. And also, let me
Well,
put
sounds
out
like
right
you agree.
now.
So it sounds like you agree with me. Do you agree with me then?
I want to talk. Okay, let me say that I'm just thinking right now. What's on my heart is the idea.
He's still like Ye is still like walking around it. He's still like beating around the bush. Like Ye is very stubborn. You could tell.
For people who do actually, I'm just thinking right now what's on my heart is the idea for people who do actually have severe mental health issues, you know, the word retarded. For, you know, there's parents that have children who actually are mentally ill, and that word is really offensive
Right.
to those people.
So why use it?
And just because I was feeling well, it's a couple reasons. Because people call me retarded, they treat me like I'm retarded, and so I embrace it. It's like you call somebody a so much, they say I'm. You call somebody a bitch so much, they say I'm a bitch. You call somebody a retarded so much, you say I'm retarded. Like, I was exhausted, and I embraced the idea of having a serious mental health issue, but
I don't understand that. Hold on. I just gotta say something that's a little off topic. How are they gonna like? How are they gonna allow? How are they gonna bleep the word nigga out when Ye says nigga, right? They're gonna bleep it out, but Ye could say the word bitch. They both derogatory. They're both derogatory words, but you could say bitch though. I don't understand. I don't understand it. That doesn't even make any sense to me. That makes no sense to me at all. If you're gonna bleep one out, bleep
having a
both of them
serious
out.
mental health
If you're gonna allow one, allow the other. Like keep it the same. Keep it the same.
issue, but Noah also, but Moses was basically on speed when he was doing what he did.
Let me
with
ask
his
you,
job
yeah.
for
I
God.
mean,
By the way,
look,
I'm
out of
just
interest,
Yeah.
how much sleep do you
Yeah.
get a night?
I'm not here to talk about how much sleep I get. I don't owe
You've
you that.
literally just been talking
You know,
about.
how much sleep do you get a night?
I had about
How much
5.5
sleep do you
hours
get a
last night, actually. Not very much. But you're the one that's
and
raised this issue.
And I probably had the same.
Right. My question is
And
only
I probably
because
had the same. But
it's only because you've been talking about you don't believe you have a mental illness. You think it's lack of sleep. So I think it's an obvious question to ask, well, how much sleep do you get? Are you constantly sleep deprived? Is that one of the reasons perhaps sometimes, as you say, you feel sleepy and you shoot from the hip verbally and you say stuff that maybe when you're rested, you wouldn't say it the same way? Would that be fair?
tell me what's okay. No, it's not fair, because what's more important, the pain and the truth of what I'm talking about and what led me to that tweet, or the tweet itself?
I think both can be true.
Because
the problem you have is, I think you've
because you have
acknowledged.
one tweet.
I think you've acknowledged
You
that
have
the
one
wording
tweet
of the
to,
tweet
like 50
was offensive.
years.
Yes, I understand, but you know the damage it caused, and I think
I understand that was offensive.
and I think that you have
The
accepted. You
damage
probably
it
shouldn't have
caused is
phrased it that way.
you as a white person are so
Right. That may be true, but it still doesn't justify just because the history and everything that like the 50 years or whatever he's talking about behind the tweet and the reasoning behind the tweet doesn't justify him saying that tweet. It doesn't justify it.
no.
That's like saying that's like saying a serial killer who was like a serial killer who like witnessed no that's like saying a rapist who was like raped and molested by like their uncle as a child grows up to be a rapist. That doesn't just like them being molested and raped as a child doesn't justify them committing a whole bunch of rapes in the future. Like that doesn't justify it. Like what? It doesn't.
Accepted, you
damage
probably
it
shouldn't have
causes
phrased it that way.
no. You as a white person are so stuck on the idea that what I said was offensive, which is a very caring approach. You're not sticking on the fact. You have not unpacked what happened with those contracts. I've said that, but you didn't ask me another question about it. That means there's an agenda.
Absolutely not.
Inside of your platform.
I have repeatedly said to you that I'm sure I do not disbelieve that you've had contract business issues with various managers, accountants, and so on. My argument is that when you
just
do it,
me
when
or other me's.
I'm sure many other artists in the music business. Yeah, of course.
You know why you're sure? Because you don't care to do the research because it doesn't affect you.
No, it's because you said.
Have you done any research?
No. Yeah, let me explain to you. I'm not doubting what you're saying.
You don't care.
I do care.
You don't care about me. You don't care about my people. I care about me. I care about my people. So it's for me to stand up. And God forbid I step on someone's toes while I'm at it.
It's not someone's toes. You stepped on the entire Jewish people's toes with a very deeply inflammatory tweet, which I think you've now accepted. You shouldn't have phrased that way. It's taken a bit of time to get there, but I think you have accepted
Right,
that,
because he's very stubborn.
Have you accepted that you've put no effort into understanding how I got there?
I don't.
But Ye's not getting it though. It doesn't matter how you came about writing a tweet. It still doesn't justify you going and publicizing that tweet. It still doesn't justify it though. That's like I get raped when I'm like 13, right? By my uncle, right? And then 20 years later, I'm like what, 33, right? 33. I go and rape some girl that's like 17, right? I go and rape some girl. Like that doesn't justify my getting raped when I was 13 years old does not justify the rape I do when I'm 33 years old. That does not justify it. So it doesn't matter what came about, like how he came across to writing that tweet, what reasons he had for writing that tweet. It does not justify him writing that tweet.
I think honestly.
Have you accepted that you've put no effort into understanding how I got there?
I don't think honestly
10 years from now.
Honestly, I don't think there is any.
You're going to apologize to me about this interview.
I'm not.
You're going to apologize to me about this interview within the next 10 years.
No, I'm not, because here's the thing.
Mark my words.
I don't doubt you've had.
It's very one-sided.
No, it's not.
It's very white-sided.
Oh, come on,
It's very one-sided. It's very like.
It's not white-sided. I'm not doubting you've had business issues. I'm saying the way to respond to that is not to go public to millions of people and say you're going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people.
Millions of people.
Right.
Millions of people have had DEFCON 3 on their contracts.
Right. You
millions
didn't
of people
say
have went
that.
home to their girl
You didn't say that.
And said, millions of people. Well, I opened it up. Now I didn't, but now I'm saying it now.
Okay.
Sir.
So now what I think you should say, I think you should say to the Jewish people, I'm sorry for the offensive language I used in that tweet. I wouldn't do that again. This is what I really meant. I think people would respect you if you said that. I don't know why you can't just say that.
Let me. You know when I'll say it. when I sit down with the people who write out the contracts for the NBA and for the NFL and for professional music and for acting contracts. We need to go to the top lawyers, the top execs, the owners of the stadiums, the owners of the football teams, and the owners of the record labels. And we're going to put them all in one room. And we're going to read let's go top 10 in each one of these categories, right? Let's read Michael B. Jordan's
Okay, but why would
contract.
any of that?
Let's
Okay,
read
but
Aaron
why would
Donald's
any of that? Why
Bro,
would any of
hey,
that?
bro, I ain't finished. I ain't finished my sentence.
Nothing.
Yo, why'd he just get like ghetto on him? Like, what? Hey, bro. Why'd he just get like that on him? Like, what was that about? Is he just getting annoyed that he keeps interrupting him? Is that what it is?
It's right.
Or is he like
Let's
legit
read Michael B.
trolling?
Jordan's
Okay, but why would
contract.
any of that?
Let's
Okay,
read
but
Aaron
why would any
Donald's
of that? Why would any of that?
Bro, I ain't finished. I ain't finished my sentence.
Nothing you're saying has anything to do with regret.
Hey, boy.
Don't call me boy.
Don't finish. I told you. Oh, don't treat me like a boy then. I'm
I'm
going to
not.
finish my sentence of my idea.
Nothing you're saying has got anything to
You're
do
not,
with
okay,
the tweet.
Cool.
Does
Bro,
it?
I was in the middle of a sentence, boy. Okay, so are you going to allow me to finish my sentence?
Yes. If you then answer my question.
Okay, so I'm going to tell people when I would apologize for the tweet. This is what has to happen first. I need all of the top executives in Hollywood. I need the top executives at the NBA and at the NFL. We'll do those two sports specifically. And I want the top executives in music, dealing with publishing, dealing with like Spotify and Apple Music and Universal Music and all the top let's do like 5 top execs there. And I want to look at the top 10 earners in each one of those fields' contracts openly. We want to compare and contrast the contracts. And then once we open that conversation, and we need to do it on a platform live with lawyers asking questions, and we'll have the top lawyers like a Johnny Cochran, Robert Kardashian level legal team, looking at all of these contracts together. After that moment happens, then I will say, I'm sorry.
Okay, if that's your position.
That's clear. Interview adjourned. Love you.
Nah, no way. What? Nah, he about to leave? He not serious. Did he really just leave? Did he really just walk out on the interview?
Yeah, we're talking serious income.
Just,
and the way that they do that,
really
don't need a real estate license.
don't need a license,
Don't need credit.
don't
No
need
way.
credit,
Don't need money.
Okay, that's the end of the interview. I mean, I just get the feeling from you that you're obviously a complex character, brilliant in many ways, fascinating, like I say, compelling. You have a huge appeal to millions of people around the world. It just seems to me that occasionally your mouth gets you into trouble, and that perhaps on reflection, sometimes you look back and wish you hadn't said things. Is that accurate?
Nah, not really.
Oh, so he's
Because the things I say are on behalf of God. Like, it's not always godly because I'm a man, but God is definitely using me. You're Catholic faith?
I am.
Or what's
Yes,
your background?
I am
What's your
Catholic.
religious?
Catholic, yeah.
Well, we're working for God here, and it's just like with Black people now with entertainment, we're coming into wealth, but all the other Black people with anywhere near my amount of wealth would never cross the lines of taboos inside of the media that I would, that actually we used to in rap. All these words, we used to say these, so it's all these like words that are being removed from our vocabulary, words that evoke emotion. don't you feel like the salt is being taken out of our food? You know, look at Dune. The people who control the salt controlled all the money. And people are trying to control the salt, and it's salt in our language. That's why I will not apologize for having a bit of salt in my words. I will say, hey, this can be improved on, but it's like, hey, look, I'm gonna update. You're looking at the God's iPhone 100. We are God's iPhone, right? If you think about it, we're his favorite creation. We were made in his image, and we need updates. And society, capitalism, media, and thought police have been stopping us from our updates. We have to have a thought, and then we have to actualize it. I like the word actualize better than execute, because execute's a negative word. We discussed this. We have to actualize. There's so many, think about, you know, for a homosexual kid, age 12 at school, not wanting to say out loud how he felt, or feeling like if he said how he felt, he would get bullied. Or what if he said how he felt, and then somebody said, you said the way you felt and what your experience was in the wrong way. Now you need to apologize. We're fine that you felt that way, but you need to apologize for the way you said it. But just having the courage to do it in the first place would be, you know, that's the thing that needs to be given credit. Like, yeah, you know what? We'll say in these past 2 weeks, I made a big splash. Because the first time you dive in the deep end, you're not going to look like an Olympic swimmer. But we're going to have to learn how to swim. And I've dived in the deep end.
Okay. I think I understand what you're saying.
Right.
Let me ask you about your family. Yeah, lots of speculation, of course, constantly.
If you understand what I'm saying, could you translate what I'm saying?
Yes.
I want you to translate what I said.
I know what.
And then let's move on to the next question.
Okay. Let me attempt to translate.
What did I mean by that?
I think what she meant was that you are not afraid to ruffle feathers. You're not afraid to cause trouble where you feel it's justified. You're not afraid to call people out who you think deserve to be called out. Yeah. But then occasionally, you've expressed yourself in a way that perhaps hasn't quite hit the right mark, and that you are work in progress, as indeed we all are, and that you could phrase things better, which would cause less offence to a wider number of people, when in fact the target of your anger may be much more specific. That would be my interpretation of what you've just said.
Right.
Do you think that we can move forward as a civilization?
That's basically how I interpret it too, as well.
Do you think that we can move forward as a civilization without there being any offense? Because one person's truth can be the other person's lie.
I think it entirely depends.
You know, it's like,
I think it entirely depends. Honestly, look, part of me wants to say yes to that, but I do think there is a line, and we should all be mindful of the line. And the line to me is, I don't think any form of racism or perceived racism should ever be tolerated. I don't think that is free speech. It's just hate speech. And I think one of the problems with what you said about the Jewish people was the more generic way that you phrased that sentence. People didn't understand you were talking about specific business people you'd had a problem with. They thought you genuinely meant you were going DEFCON 3 on all Jewish people. And they took that to be a blatant form of anti-Semitism. I think you've explained in this interview that was not your intention at all, which is good. But I think if you're asking me to interpret what you've just said yourself, that would be my interpretation. That, you know, you're work in progress, and sometimes you say stuff
I didn't just
which
explain.
doesn't quite get over what you're really meaning.
But what I really mean is, I don't want it to be settled. I don't want to be forgiven by Jewish people until we get to what the problem really is. I don't want, you know, like Elon, he got on Twitter, he said, I talked to Ye, he took it to heart. And I liked my boy standing up for me, but I was like, but the fight isn't done though. Everybody, white media, left media, they just want to squash the fight. They want to keep the pain of George Floyd going, right? But they don't want the pain of our representatives.
What did Elon Musk say to you about the tweet, out of interest?
It's vague to me right now. I don't want to misquote him.
What was the general?
It's vague to me.
What was the general point of what he was?
Oh my God, yo, these ads are killing me.
I went online and I put into Google fast track into becoming a teacher. A 4-year degree was not in my mind at that time. And I saw that I can get my degree through WGU at the pace of my
Vague to me right now. I don't want to misquote him.
What was the general?
It's vague to me.
What was the general point of what he was saying?
It's vague to me. It's truly vague to me. I'm an honest person. I tell you what it was. But I keep on saying it's just always about this tweet. It's so much more. If you look back at this interview, and it's like a direction arrow, it's more in the direction of fixing the statement than fixing the problem.
I think both
and
things,
that's my problem.
I understand, but I would say to that I think they're two different things, and you can fix both actually. And I accept that part of what you were trying to do and the point you were trying to make, I completely understand it because you've explained it in more detail. On Elon Musk, there is a suggestion that when he gets control of Twitter, which seems likely now, that he will bring you back, he'll bring Donald Trump back. Do you think that would be right?
It'll be lit.
Do you think it's wrong that you and Trump have been banned from
Absolutely.
these
For
platforms?
what? For what? For what? Why should Trump and Ye be banned from Twitter? For what? Speaking their mind? For what? Speaking their mind? Because people take what Trump and Ye say out of context. I mean, well, I guess I could see how what Ye said seems racist, but like there's always an ulterior motive, always a deeper meaning behind what Kanye says. As for Trump and his tweets, I don't really know too much about that, but even still, like you shouldn't ban him from Twitter. Like that's something excessive. That's excessive.
Have been banned from these platforms?
Absolutely. I was talking to Trump a couple days ago, and he was like, I'm not going to do his voice, right? But he was saying, I had 277 million followers, and the next day I had nothing. And that related to, Mark Zuckerberg, Meta. And that related, I had 277 million followers, and the next day I had nothing. And that related to, Mark Zuckerberg, Meta. Mark Zuckerberg thinks he is the government. These tech companies feel they're more powerful than the U.S. government to the point of actually kicking the actual president of the United States off of an American social media platform. This is the world we live in.
And I would say, I agree with you, and I'll tell you why. I think it's completely inconsistent that companies like Facebook and Twitter allow people like the Ayatollah of Iran, for example, to remain on the platform, or Taliban people to be on the platform, but they don't allow an American president. That seems to me completely ludicrous.
Yes, and this is part of the 100-year plan that they have books on about China's takeover of America after losing the Industrial Revolution. Now, let's talk about business people. We won't refer to their race. And by the way, I'll tell you, as a Jew person, a person that has a lot of Jewish friends, it's not a race, it's a people.
Right.
And every Jewish homeboy I know is going to be like, yo, yeah, that's right. So, but it's hard to attract, it's hard to influence patriotism on capitalists. And it's a responsibility for us as Americans to retake our power in media, to retake our power in our schools, to retake our power in our farms, to retake our power in our medicine, in our hospitals, to revitalize the country, because America invented rock and roll at the end of the day. We have the inventions. America created Apple. You understand? Like, we created the platforms that the world runs on now, and we've allowed the business people in these companies to sell us, and whatever the term is, sell them in a handbag, whatever it is, for cheap. And Americans are God-fearing, for the most part, God-fearing Christian people, and we're not cheap, and we can't be sold for cheap. And we're here to stand up and say, you got to honor who we are, our families. You got to honor our God, Jesus Christ. So, next subject.
Can I ask you something? Let me ask you something else. Yeah, I want to ask you about your family.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned families there. A lot of stuff has been written about you and your family. A lot of it fueled by you, by Kim, by others. Where are things now with your family? What is your relationship like with Kim, with your kids?
This is gonna be interesting.
Kim has Zionist media handlers surrounding her, all in and out her Hulu TV show, all in and out her family, all in or out the house that I created for my family. But God is alive, the devil is a defeated foe, and Kim is a Christian woman, and she's not here just to have content up on adult channels. She's not here just to have that last Interview magazine cover. If you look at the two Interview magazine covers, look at the one when I was there and look at the one when I'm not there. And that's the reason why this Tuskegee experiment of such that's happened to the black community, where they took the fathers out of the home and the leaders out of the community and have torn apart the community. Now they've seen that's worked, and they're doing that to America. They're attempting, they're trying.
I mean, that
It's
interview,
not gonna work on our dime,
the
though,
interview
because
magazine cover you're talking about, I think, is the one where she was basically semi-naked in front of the American flag. And I thought that was pretty distasteful, actually. It was about the American dream. And I thought, well, if that's the American dream, we're all screwed. I mean, in America.
And I agree with that. And I didn't feel the platform to voice my opinion, because it's always like, hey, this is your kid's mother. But it's time with the leaders. Like, I'm still the priest of that home, Chris. I'm still the priest of that home. They want to make it this matriarch society, all that, and, but I am the priest of this home, and God is alive. I am the living Robert Kardashian, and I'm going to stand up for what God would want as a Christian. And then people say as a Christian, oh, you're not supposed to curse. You're not supposed to have righteous indignation. But I do. Christians had swords also. Christians got guns, I tell you that. So.
But do you talk to Kim?
I
mean,
believe in.
There have been reports, that you and Kim don't really talk at the moment. She's distancing herself from you because of the stuff you've been saying must get in controversy. Is that true?
I mean, John Legend is distancing himself from me and buying more Christmas sweaters in the middle of spring also. So I'm not saying that, they're making the right decisions. She's being influenced. But I guarantee you what's not finna happen, we not finna see her in one of them John Legend Christmas.
Yeah, that's definitely true. If you're gonna distance yourself from, if you was in Kanye's life, and then you're gonna distance yourself from Ye after these like allegations and these like big controversy stuff and the anti-Semitic comments and the White Lives Matter stuff, what's going on with Ye in the media, then you being influenced. Definitely, you being influenced by the media.
But I guarantee you what's not finna happen, we not finna see her in one of them John Legend Christmas sweaters no time soon.
But do you talk to her? Are you still in touch with each other?
Wait, so don't you think it's like funny to like make a joke out of stuff sometimes? Don't you think like God has a sense of humor?
Of course.
But watch this. God, when I got married, I bought this house. I I did this tour and spent all the money I had on this house to like surprise Kim and give her this house that she wanted, that Lisa Marie Presley used to own. And then I got the house, and then I put all this money into renovation. And then There goes the neighborhood. Drake moves down the street 5 blocks. And that's when I knew God was funny. But watch, this is where God is even funnier. Here goes like Louis C.K. part 2 level, because Louis C.K. is the funniest man alive. Uncancel him now, right? So and he was funnier before he's canceled, because all he would do is type of jokes that you'd get canceled on, right? So I got an office and, outside of Crenshaw, like in an opportunity zone. And this office, 57,000 square foot office, is the one that Tucker Carlson came to visit me at. And I look out the window, and whose office is being built, a brand new one? The Skims office. It's like, who's writing this stuff? You know what I'm saying? Like, God is funny. So that's the thing. We always got to be like, we got to be funny. We got to have a sense of humor, like,
But yeah, let me ask you.
There's a lot. Yeah.
But are you sad that you're getting divorced? Are you sad the relationship came to an end?
That happened 2 years. We got the divorce 2 years.
Yeah.
We're
Are you actually?
He like, that's like old news. Like, why are you still talking about it? That's 2 years old. Like, you late, buddy.
What if you could make a couple extra $1,000 a month using one little app on your phone? Well, I want to show you what it is and how to do it. So this is the app right here, guys.
Divorced 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're.
Are you
Piers,
actually?
We've been got divorced. What are you talking?
Yeah. I mean, let me rephrase that. Are you sad that you're no longer together? That you're divorced?
We'll always be together. She
That's
dresses
gay.
exactly like me. What do you mean? Like, my kids are me. There's no person that she'll ever get with that will influence her more than God and then her priest on earth, which is me. Whether it's the Skims clothing line, the designers, the architects, all those people. You got the Clintons, the left, utilizing what we built together to try to use her as an influence for the black culture and the word culture in general for the next elections. They need those 300 million followers from Kylie and Kim on their side going into their election as they push trauma culture to the black people again, as they claim any of my questions of business dealings to be anti-Semitic comments, and push, Kim to, as a billionaire mother of a lawyer and a mother of 4 Jew black children, to do covers like Interview. And that's what happens when they take the dads out the home. And that's what they've been doing in the hood. They take the fathers and the leaders out of the homes. And if we keep on allowing this to happen and we don't have some level of a decency clause inside of our media on what everyone sees, like when I was young and I would go to the video store, if I wanted to go into the adult section, it was a curtain, it was a person sitting there watching, making sure that kids didn't go in. If the kids went into that section, there was a video camera, and they would have you be escorted out of that section. Now that section is forced through TikTok. That section is subverted and kind of mixed with the drink inside of music directed at children, inside of content through Disney, on Hulu, which is Disney also, and in so many branded commercials to confuse children and to sexualize our children way too early before they can even make their own decisions about their life.
You make some very interesting points again. Just to clarify one thing, though, you are actually divorced, are you? Because my understanding was that you weren't actually divorced yet.
I ask God the same question some mornings. Am I divorced, God? Am I divorced? Because I might be divorced on paper, but I'm not divorced of the idea of being the protector. I might be divorced on paper, but I'm not divorced of the idea.
Wait, hold on. Say that again.
Because I might be divorced on paper, but I'm not.
I am divorced because I might be divorced on paper.
Divorce of the idea of being
I'm
the
not.
protector of not only this person who is so influential. Imagine Kim making all of her decisions that she does publicly. You know, grown folks' business is grown folks' business. Never know what could happen with a little sippy or whatever. But, you know, all the decisions that she makes publicly being based on an audience of one. And Pierce, what audience do you think I'm saying that is?
Well, you.
Yeah.
No, not me. For us as Christians, right? Who is our audience? We have an audience of one.
Well, you mean God?
God. So picture this world, envision this world. Here's another one. This is past what I'm saying about having the heads of the football teams and the basketball teams and the music industry opening up their contracts the way I do, right? Picture the most influential woman on the planet, which is Kim Kardashian, right? And I got this one thing I want to definitely say in the interview. Picture the most influential person on the planet, the most influential woman on the planet, performing in public only for that audience of one, for God. Imagine the overwhelmingly positive effect that will have on the planet. And mark these words, it will happen someday.
Okay.
And I had this thing. Of course I'm divorced, and this is like a funny thing I thought. Being that her name is no longer West, and my name is no longer Ye, being that her name is no longer West, and my name is now only Ye, if we were ever to be together again, what would our name be? Kim Ye.
Would you like that?
Yo, this man.
Everything is up to God, and God has proven.
That's funny though, cause like that's literally their whole like when people mash up people's names, like Brangelina. That's like the whole. That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, Kenya.
To me many times that it's not about what I want or what I would like. It's just up to him on what he sees fit.
But
David had to.
But let me ask you. I mean, yeah, but do you still love
to the
Kim?
sheep? Sorry, not with an S.
Do you still love Kim?
I absolutely love. I'll love her for life. And I will protect. Oddly enough, I'll actually protect her, because when I call out things that I feel are wrong, you know what I'm saying? When I make products, like say the difference.
Yeah. I could definitely see Ye and Kim getting back together. I want to see that. I want to see that happen. I want to see Kim and Ye get back together.
Wrong. You know what I'm saying? When I make products, like, say the difference between me and Bernard Arnault. Like, say, watch, Elon Musk, every product, the reason why Elon Musk is like a Steve Jobs is, if he makes a flamethrower, he would use that flamethrower. If he makes a Cybertruck, he would use that Cybertruck. Me, if I make some 3D printed boots, I'm going to have the 3D printed boots on.
Wow,
and
I love
wear them
those.
every day.
Can I get a pair of those?
Absolutely, sir.
They would
Tucker
really
liked
suit
them
me.
also. These boots are a hit.
Love those.
Yes.
They're fantastic.
Yeah.
Would you like to one
you
day?
very much, sir.
Do you think, given that you've got all these kids together, would you like one day to get back with Kim? Do you think? Do you feel like you've gone through a very tumultuous period, but that actually the love underneath it all between two people remains? And would you like to get back together?
I think he's gonna say yes.
When you're a small business owner, every little bit counts.
So instead of cutting into our profits,
GoDaddy has the lowest fees in the business, and we can take payments on.
Those thirst traps still be fire.
Is that
Do
a
you
yes?
understand what I said? Do you understand that language
I
right
think so.
there?
I think
That
so. You better explain it. Explain it to me.
What do you think those thirst traps still be fire means? Can you explain that to me?
Well, with my
Pierce?
rather
Explain
creative British
what
mind,
those thirst traps still be fire.
I would imagine it
With your
means that
creative, brilliant British man.
I would imagine it means you still fancy your ex-wife. Is that right?
You know, I would prefer to not be put on this. I would prefer to not be put on the spot.
He gonna keep it. He gonna keep it clean. He gonna keep it professional. I see. He's not gonna take it there. He's not gonna take it there. I understand. I can respect that.
On these kind of questions, what I could say on the spot. On these kind of questions, what I could say is, God is alive, and He places people.
Always gonna
He
bring it back to
placed
God.
David in to tend to. God had David tend to the sheep, knowing that one day He would prepare him to fight Goliath. So I believe that day of me fighting Goliath has been this past 2 weeks. The media is Goliath. And there would be no chance of having a civil civilization or a civil democracy in America without me challenging the media 2 years out from the election. Because this thing that I'm challenging may be setting myself up to one day be able to be president, or it's maybe for the other president. But regardless, we have to have some decency in America.
I really do. I'm really eager to know, and I'm really interested to know if Ye is gonna run for 2024. I want to know if he's really gonna run for 2024. I mean, it's still 2 years away, but a lot can happen in 2 years. But I want to know if he's going to run for 2024. That would be very interesting. Because it'll definitely have a different effect in 2024 than it did in 2020.
As the thought leaders in the content.
Yeah, drop in the comments if you would vote for Kanye 2024. Drop it in the comments. Let me know if y'all would vote for Kanye in 2020 for 2024.
That we put out.
But
on that
point, you keep talking about the media as if somehow it's the media that's created all this furore in the last 2 weeks. But you have said other things which, in my opinion, the media couldn't ignore. You know, you suggested in your interview with Tucker Carlson that Gap, for example, the clothing wear company, had prior knowledge of the Uvalde shooting, which is obviously completely insane. Why would you say that? And then why would you be surprised if the media then react to it? They're bound to.
What I'm saying is that was worded. That might have been worded in a way that the media could take in the wrong way. But I thought it was really interesting the amount of people at Gap. We had a release that was happening, and the amount of people at Gap that were rallying around this as a media moment, if they didn't know.
Oh, I paused it. My fault.
About that, where there's theories. You can't say that the theories about 9/11 are completely insane.
Actually,
that's just the person I am. I'm that kind of person.
Well, look, you're perfectly entitled to have theories. I think most of them are completely insane. But on this specific one, on Uvalde, you even suggested that Matthew McConaughey. You even suggested that Matthew McConaughey may have. It was all a bit weird that he was speaking so early about it, when in fact he came from Uvalde and spoke very passionately after this atrocity. So I think people read these comments and like, what are you talking about?
No, okay, so I'm not. What I'm saying is, I definitely feel there was a major media push around that to create trauma and fear culture, because the amount of people, and this is not to be in any way, I care about people who have passed away and have lost loved ones.
20 kids were shot dead in a classroom.
Right.
20 children were shot dead at school.
So let me explain.
No one in the media is putting any sort of trauma into that. That is the trauma.
Okay, Pierce, how often does that happen in my hometown?
Well, the
Every
20
week.
kids are killed in school in one mass shooting. As far as I'm aware, it's never happened in your hometown, has it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
At least
not in one
14
mass
kids
shooting.
are killed in Chicago. I didn't finish.
Okay.
Let's not do this again.
Okay.
We reviewed
I
how
understand.
that goes.
You could talk.
At least 14 kids are killed in Chicago every week.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no media push around it. And that's my issue. When I was at Gap, there was no media push around the killings in Chicago.
But I would agree. I agree with you. I completely agree. My youngest son has recently been at the University of Chicago for a year, and there were 2 students shot in that time. I completely agree that there is never enough attention given to all the slaughter from gun violence in Chicago. Completely agree with you. What I can't agree with is any suggestion by you that anyone at Gap or Matthew McConaughey or anybody else had any prior knowledge of what happened at Uvalde. Of course they didn't.
What I'm saying is, I'm not saying they did, but with the amount of attention that went, understand, I was jealous, once again. You feel me? I'm jealous that so much attention went in this direction, but doesn't go into the direction of Chicago when
then
the same amount of people.
That's what you should say.
I'm not finished.
Yeah, but it comes down to the way you phrase these things.
Bro, hey, I just said it.
Yes.
Like I just said, you're not always going to say the things the right way, but at least I have the bravery to open the conversation. Your first sentence isn't your last sentence. My first rap that I told wasn't my last rap that I told. And now that's the whole point. It's said. Once it's said, accept that it was said. I am the iPhone 20, right? I'm growing. I'm a hybrid. I'm updating.
Okay.
I'm constantly updating, and that's what we're supposed to do. You can't drag me back, because you enjoy that, right? When you bring it up, I'm saying, hey, this is what I'm saying. I felt, think about this. Have you ever heard the term premeditated murder?
Yes.
I feel like the George Floyd was a premeditated murder. That's my feeling based off of, and we never got to that in the beginning, but that's my feeling based off of the information I saw in the documentary.
I think it was a premeditated murder in the sense that
murder.
I agree, but not for the reason you think. I think it was premeditated in the sense that policeman didn't give a damn about George Floyd's life, stuck his knee on his neck for 8 minutes and killed him. So I know we don't agree about that. I don't want to go back over that. I want to ask you, about something different.
I think the policeman was involved with it too, but not in the way that you think about it.
Right.
I think he was involved in a different way.
I think we'll have to.
I think he was also part of the setup.
Okay. Look, we're not going to agree about that, but
He's been moved, and I need you to watch the documentary, and we could talk offline and then talk online again.
Okay.
Because what's not fair is for a white martyr like JFK to be analyzed 100 different ways, but then for a black martyr like George Floyd, for us to only accept the one way. That's like us only accepting the one way for the black vote.
Like I said to you,
we have the opportunity to look at it different ways.
Like I said to you, you are completely entitled to challenge anything, frankly. And I'm equally entitled to come back at you and say what I think. That's what a democracy is about. Let me ask you I want to ask you one thing about your...
But look, no, I got...
Okay. I don't want to keep going back to that same issue.
The disparagement right there.
Yeah.
But look at the disparagement, because I had an idea. I don't like the word point. I had an idea that you didn't embrace right there. The martyr, JFK, we analyzed his death 100 different ways, right? But with George Floyd, he died that way. And then it's white people telling super brilliant, successful black people, you have the right. It's literally like on some, Black Lives Matter, like your life matters, like, oh, your idea matters, but then shut up and we're not going to go back to it. No, we're going to unfold it. I need you to watch that documentary, and I want us to talk line by line. I want to do, because look, I think that we're a good conversation. And now within the next 2 years, we need to talk a lot of times, right?
I would love to do that.
This kind of thing.
Honestly, I would honestly,
we should unpack.
Listen, let me say to you, I've wanted to interview you for years.
Yeah.
I genuinely mean it when I say I think you're one of the most brilliant, talented people that I've seen in the public sphere. And you have a lot of fascinating ideas, and you're incredibly creative, and you're completely entitled to your views. But I'm entitled to mine, and I think we've had some really interesting exchanges, actually. I want to just talk to you quickly before we finish about your kids and about you as a father. What kind of kids do you want them to be? What kind of values do you want to instill in your children?
I want my kids to finish their education. I know that my album was called The College Dropout, but when I look at the way, you know, just like you said, your kids are in the University of Chicago, we need the education. That's another thing to be jealous about. You know, the Muslims have the Quran, right? And Jewish people also have their holy books, but
Christians have the Bible,
the education. And once we have the education, and we have the strong black minds, we need to pull them together. There hasn't been end-to-end black-owned communities since Black Wall Street or since the gentrification of Harlem. Like I have this tech company called STEM, right, that had the most successful launch in tech history with 80,000 STEM players as far as a first launch, right? We sold 80,000 STEM players back in February, and we went off the Apple platform, and now we're coming with the next generation that has a projector in it, and it's coming with 4,096 movies. I did that because my Amiga computer had 4,096 colors when I was in 7th grade. And also you can download films without having to use an Apple product. So I called this guy, and we're working on finishing up elements of the deal. And he's using emotional bullying, and like his shoulders are down, you could tell on the call. And he says, well, because of your comments, we're not going to be able to hire people. It's the people that we need. And I said, well, how many people do we have working for us? He said 60, and we have 40 part-time. I said, well, how many Jewish people do we have? He said, well, I don't know. We have some. And I said, well, do we have black people working for us? He said, yeah. I said, how many? He said, 2. And I said, you're telling me we can't find 60 black engineers? Well, yeah. And see, that's where that comment that got me into so much trouble forced me to look at myself as the richest black man since Mansa Musa, right, with multiple tech companies. And where am I kicking the tires inside of my own company to ensure that I'm hiring my people? Because Chinese people hire Chinese people, and Jewish people hire Jewish people, and Catholics hire Catholics, right? But with blacks, we'll give our company to Bernard Arnault. We'll give our company to Mark Zuckerberg. We'll give our company away. And it would almost come off as anti-Semitic if I hadn't crossed that gun line so far to say, hey, I have to go and ensure that I'm hiring the brightest black minds to my black-owned tech company. You know, Kamala is our never again. We're never going to just hand something over just because we like the way this person looks, and we have the emotional connection because she was a Delta and my mom was a Delta. She got 96% of the black female vote. You would have thought Drake was running, and we haven't seen her the black female emotional connection because she was a Delta and my mom was a Delta. She got 96% of the black female vote. Delta over just because we like the way this person looks, and we have the emotional connection because she was a Delta and my mom.
Who?
Kamala is our brightest black minds to my black-owned tech company. You know, Kamala is our never again. We're never going to just hand something over just because we like the way this person looks, and we have the emotional connection because she was a Delta and my mom was a Delta. She got 96% of the black female vote. You would have thought Drake was running, and we haven't seen her really honestly since. And I want to say something about the left. The left, you guys got to sit with me. Your current administration that these guys put up, they shit the pot on this one. They should have got Bernie, but Bernie had too much of a conscience. And so you got a guy with no conscience. Instead of getting Bernie Sanders, you guys got Weekend at Bernie's. And and you know.
Oh shit, yo. Yo, he did not just say it. He said instead of getting Bernie Sanders, you guys got Weekend at Bernie's. Oh shit. He said y'all got a bootleg Bernie Sanders.
They shit the pot on this
Oh
one.
shit.
They should have got Bernie, but Bernie had too much of a conscience. And so you got a guy with no conscience. Instead of getting Bernie Sanders, you guys got Weekend at Bernie's. And and you know that you don't like where we're at right now. So we got to have a conversation going in.
When you listen,
on how to
I won't disagree with you about. I don't disagree with you about President Biden or Kamala Harris for that matter. Let me ask you about someone we haven't mentioned.
Ah shit! I just got it. I just got Piers. Piers Morgan basically just said that he doesn't. He said he doesn't disagree with him about Biden or about Kamala. So basically, he doesn't like Biden or he doesn't like Kamala Harris either. That's funny.
Vladimir or Kamala Harris for that matter. Let me ask you about someone we haven't mentioned, Vladimir Putin and what he's been doing in Ukraine. What is your view of that?
I do not believe in war, and I believe that there is ways that America could have avoided this war. But Biden has money. Biden has reasons for us to be at war right now for selfish reasons. And what I would like to do, without giving you too much information, I would like to speak with.
He has reasons for us to be at war, yet he's gonna take money from the military and pay them less. Like, why would you not? The military are fighting for our country. They're fighting for our freedom. Yet you're gonna underpay the military. Like I work at the post office. I'm making more than military right now. Like, and I'm dealing with people's mail. Yet the people who are fighting for our freedom are getting paid less than me. How is that fair? How is that fair? That doesn't even, like, when have we had a president that was actually that actually made it possible for the military to get paid well? Like, when have we had a president that made it into law, or that set whatever that made it into whatever you want to call it, that have made it so that the military are actually getting paid what they deserve? Like, when are we gonna get a president that's gonna pay the military what they deserve? The military should absolutely. The military should be like one of the highest paid jobs in the U.S. In my opinion, they should.
What I would like to do, without giving you too much information, I would like to speak with my political advisors to give you the exact information. I'm not gonna. Hey, watch this one, Piers. I'm not gonna shoot from the hip on this one, especially talking about war and things as sensitive as Ukraine and the Russian war. No, we already.
The military, people who work in the military should be getting paid they should be getting paid like 70 around like 75 million. They should be getting paid between 75 million. They should be getting paid between like 70 and 80 million. Yeah, like 70 and 80 million.
As Ukraine and the Russian war. No, we already got that the RETARD comment earlier that.
But instead, they getting paid like 22. Yo, I really just caught myself. I really said million. I meant thousand. Wow. Wow. I really just caught myself. But instead, they getting paid 22,000. 22,000. I make I make I make double that. And you talking about they make 22,000. Like what? That's dirt. Like you can't survive off of 22,000. They should be making like 70,000 a year. Like that's crazy to me. That's crazy.
We already got that the RETARD comment earlier that maybe we could work on that I feel like is going to be massively offensive, and I really do. Now that one I do apologize to people that I offended earlier in the interview on that comment. Maybe we could look at scrubbing that if we deem.
Well,
if we'd like to.
I would say this: it's an uncensored interview. You said something which you've now wished you hadn't said, and you've apologized. I actually think that says a lot about you, right? That shows you've got that ability to be self-aware, to understand when you cross a line. I think someone like you, with all your energy and creativity and your passion, you're going to say stuff. The way that you talk constantly and in such an extraordinary manner, you're going to trip up. You're going to say things the wrong way. I don't think there's anything wrong in when you do that, doing what you just did and saying, look, I'm sorry, I crossed a line, I apologize. It's actually quite empowering.
You know what I think? You know what I think I'll go ahead and do? I feel that I've given the platform, and I think by holding the idea of an apology hostage is not godlike.
Correct.
I feel like we have to free.
You think?
Yeah, and I think that's the point that you've been making. And because we sat down and had this conversation, I will say I'm sorry for the people that I hurt.
Nah, he really about to apologize right now?
When I decided to go back to school, I hadn't been to school in over 20 years. So having that flexibility at WGU just made my life easier. Sometimes I'm a night out.
For him to actually apologize for his racist Jewish comment?
I will say. And because we sat down and had this conversation, I will say I'm sorry for the people that I hurt with the DEF CON, the confusion that I call. I feel like I cause hurt and confusion. And I'm sorry for the families of the people that had nothing to do with the trauma that I had been through, and that I use my platform where you say hurt people. And I was hurt. I was frustrated. I was frustrated that Gap hadn't opened stores. I was frustrated that I spent time with a gentleman who I love him, his wife, his kids, David Simon, and to open stores. And then he called Bob Martin at Gap and said, I'm not going to open the stores. And I've just been frustrated. I just want to open my widow stores. And I want to say that it's wrong to hold an apology hostage. And I got to let go of that and free myself of the trauma and say, look, I'm just going to give it all up to God right now and say to those families that I hurt, I really want to give you guys a big hug. And I want to, I say, I'm sorry for hurting you with my comments. And I want to word it in not in like a political way, but in a presidential way, which means what I knew a president to be when I was growing up, in a sincere way. You know how people give those kind of, I want to give an apology, and you're like, but did you? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, no, it has to be, I want to go to every person's grandmother and grandfather and every person's son and daughter, aunt and uncle, and give them a hug and say, you know what? I've been hurt. And I do want you to talk to your boys. I do want you to talk to the people that are in power, the people who do own the black voice, the people who do own the the vote, which a lot of Jewish business people do. And I want to be able to sit at the table with the contracts. I want my people to sit at the table with the contracts. I do want all of this, but I'm not going to hold my apology hostage till I get that. I'm going to start by taking accountability for my actions and the lack of sophistication in my wording. Like I said, I was sleepy, and it was taken in a way that I didn't mean to be taken. It definitely caused some attention. But I don't want the conversation to go away just because I came to you guys and said, I understand how I hurt you, and I'm sorry for the pain that I've caused and the confusion that I caused. Now that is said, right? But I don't want the conversation to go away that we are still in a place where these contracts are still up. My people are still getting screwed. This has to be opened up. And I'm not asking for a promise, but it would be a beautiful world as I release the pain that I've caused and the pain that I have in me, that grudge that I was holding, that you guys, some of you guys, 1, 2 of you guys step up and say, let's look at these contracts. Let's make it not be a known fact that the music industry is treacherous. Let's make because some of my kids do music. I don't want them to step into a treacherous place. I want it to be better for them than it was for me. So I want us to sit down and come together and really work on that. Would that make sense to you, Piers?
You know what, Ye? If you'd simply said that in your tweet, I don't think there would have been any problem. And I'm very, very pleased, actually, that we've got to a place where you felt able to say that. And I think it was sincere. And
but we still have a problem. That's my point.
No,
Piers.
I get it. I get it. But what you've now done, you've now explained the context of the problem. And you also issued a sincere apology to people who were rightly offended by the way you phrased what you said. So I think that's a good place to finish the interview. And I'm very glad you got there.
Okay, but it's not finished.
I understand.
The idea is not finished.
I understand.
That there's still a problem.
I understand. No one's going to be in any doubt there's a problem. And by the way, I'm sure there is. I'm sure that a lot of the contracts in the music business are rigged against people like artists like yourself. I'm sure of it. I mean, it's always been the case from Elvis onwards. So I get
Piers,
it.
Would you help me and my people? Would you help me and my athletes? I got so many athletes that go to my school that are like all the guys that are on Donda are headed to the NBA, right? Could you help me? Could you help us make these contracts better for our people by calling attention, by just allowing me on your platform, right? And let's look at some of the things and point these things out. Could we work together on that over the next couple of years?
Very happy to do that.
Yeah.
Very happy to do that. I think we should talk more often.
All right.
It's taken a long time to get here. I've thoroughly enjoyed our conversation. It's been 2 hours. It's been free rolling. It's been occasionally challenging. But we've got to a place where I think is a good place. And I've really enjoyed it. So thank you very much indeed, Ye, for sparing me the time.
Yeah. You know I'm going to feel like I lost my stone I was holding.
Yeah. Yeah,
but I had to give it up to God. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes,
He always brings it back to God.
You're gonna be bragging at dinner tonight, like, "Yo, I talked to Ye. No one could do it. No one could do it. I did it." And I'm giving you this, and I'm gonna pray that you, as a fellow believer in Christ, will help me to expose all the wrong that's still currently happening to my people, specifically in the entertainment industry, because
honestly,
an entertainer.
I'm very happy.
To start with.
I'm very happy to hold anyone to account who is behaving improperly, honestly. And I'm absolutely certain that entertainment business is riddled with people who try it on and exploit people. And I would be very happy to help you to expose that. But for now, I've got to leave it. Ye, we've had 2 hours. It's been remarkable. Thank you very much for your time.
Peace.
Nah. He really left it as peace. Yo, what? But anyways, wow, that was the Piers Morgan uncensored video of Ye. It talked about a lot. He talked about the whole anti-Semitic comment with the Jews. And then he actually ended up finally apologizing for it in the last 10 minutes. Talked about his relationship with Kim. That was very interesting. I liked what he had to say on that. Talked about a lot. Covered a lot. Talked about Donda. Talked about the Kyrie Irving situation. Even though he was in something like similar. Talked about cancel culture. He talked about a lot. I really liked this interview. I liked what he had to say. It made me definitely like see Ye, like see like who Ye is as a person like more, and definitely like see a lot more of his arrogance and his stubbornness, and definitely made me respect Ye more and like see what like Ye is like really about, and definitely like Ye more as a person, and I feel like I could definitely see, and like a lot of his music too, just like, and like can't tell me nothing, like power, stronger. I could definitely see like yet who Ye is as a person. I could definitely like see it like wash over into like spill over into his music. Definitely see that. And and I like it. I like it. It definitely like this is why like Ye is definitely Ye, and like of all time, if we talk about like all time artists, like all time rappers, Ye is definitely top 5 for my all time rappers of like all time best rappers. Ye is definitely in my top 5 without a doubt, hands down. You're not gonna argue that with me. And if we're talking about like celebrities, if we're talking about like celebrities, Ye, because like there's a lot of celebrities. There's a lot of influential celebrities. Just like celebrities in general, that incorporates like athletes, um, people in like movies, like actors and actresses, music. If we talk about like all that, and I'm just because it's such a big variety, I'm just gonna say Ye's definitely in like my top 10. Ye's definitely in my top 10. But yeah, that was great. Y'all can let me know your thoughts in the comments. What you thought on this interview. This is definitely my longest reaction yet, so I'm definitely hyped about this. Yeah, so I'm definitely hyped about this. I liked what I heard. But the only thing I didn't hear on, I heard like very briefly. They didn't really talk about it though. I heard I wanted Ye to address the White Lives Matter a T-shirt. He addressed a lot. He addressed the anti-Semitic comments with the Jews. He addressed the he didn't address the whole Adidas dropping him situation. I did want him to address that, and I did want him to address the whole White Lives Matter T-shirt thing. But I think I'm gonna try and find a video or interview on that, and then maybe react to that. But y'all definitely get more video. Y'all can definitely let me know if you want me to do more videos like this. And I think I do want to do a video on the whole Kyrie Irving situation and see what's going on there, because I know something along the line is something similar to like what happened with Ye and like the anti-Semitic comments. I heard there was something with like a movie link and shit like that. But yeah, there's definitely more content on the way, more reactions on the way. I got a lot more reactions I want to do, even on Twitch too. I got a couple album reactions I want to do on Twitch. And yeah, as always, subscribe to the channel if you new. Um, and yeah, I'll put the link to my Twitch and down in the description below for anybody who wants to follow me on Twitch and catch the content and watch the content that would be copyrighted on YouTube. You can catch it on my Twitch. And yeah, follow my Twitch, subscribe to my channel if you new, hit the like button for me, and I'm out. I'm gonna catch you in the next video. I'm out of here.